Gorgeous day it is in Phoenix, Arizona, because we're indoors. Certainly, this is such a pretty ballpark. This is Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Copper Square, as they call it, and the home of the World Series just one season ago. It's game number 2, day number 3 of Perfect Games National Showcase, the very best rising seniors in the nation. David Ronsley, an amazing scout for 3.5 decades, and of course the vice president of player personnel. My name is Darren Sutton. And David, a chance to see athletes who yesterday tested, if you will. They tested, but today they are playing, and the games are everything. It's not just for the pitchers, these games. It's for the defenders. It's for the catchers. It's for the hitters.
Yeah, we're going to get to see 10 new pitchers today. Yes, they're all going to throw 2 innings apiece.
Right.
But watching the top batters, and there's a lot of top hitters in this class in this game today, face the top-level pitchers, and we've got some top-level pitchers. Most definitely, we're going to take a look at the
What do you got?
Navy
Give me a name.
lineup.
Give me a name.
Presley Corville really stood out with his athleticism, and we need catchers for this All-American team. There's going to be a catcher who pops. Maybe it's Corville.
Dean Moss, highly ranked. Anyone else you're interested in here?
Boston Kellner. Boston Kellner moved from Colorado
Local
to Arizona.
guy. Yeah.
Now he's an Arizona guy. He can hit.
Blake Ilitch, we'll see him pitch. Of course, connected to the Ilitch family, the Red Wings, the Tigers, Little Caesars Pizza. Some fun names there. Eddie Zahn's a fun name.
Eddie Zahn's a fun name. Tyler Bell's somebody to look for, too. But all attention will be on River Hamilton to start.
Oregon State commit. He is from Oregon, and he'll go play for Coach Kenham as they evolve their program with the Pac-12 closing. What a great baseball name. Who is he when he is on the mound? How does he get outs?
He gets outs by completely dominating hitters. That 48th ranking might be a little low. He's pitched in 2 tournaments this year for Bombat Northwest. He's been the most valuable pitcher in both of them, including at the 17U UBC West. And just quality stuff. 90 to 94 on the fastball. Low 80s breaking ball that he can manipulate. You can just look there how the young look there. Tons of projection. This is one of the highest ceiling pitchers, in my opinion, in the 2025 class.
River Hamilton, that Bombat team, Northwest. He wants to be the Gatorade Player of the Year. He'd like to jump up his weight to about 195 in this calendar year. He's facing a good one, a really athletic catcher. Plays for that Canes national team, Mets scout team, Texas A&M commit. His name is Presley Corville. Again, a really athletic catcher.
And Hamilton's going to announce his presence early. First pitch, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Corville, closed stance there. Don't see really closed stance as much. Hamilton gets that 95 fastball by him up high.
Hamilton's mom is Gail. His siblings are Isabel, Griffin, and Chase. Overthrew that breaking ball. It stayed up and in. There's a couple of pitchers that he loves watching. There's a lean major leaguer built like him by the name of Joe Kelly. He loves watching Joe Kelly. And he loves learning from Trevor Bauer, who still is really active on teaching pitching on social media. Pitches now in Mexico, and Bauer pretty open about, sharing the game with a lot of these young pitchers. So those are 2 guys that he tries to learn from.
I do find it interesting. That's like the 3rd Trevor Bauer reference by young pitchers in this event. And, that intellectual approach to pitching that Bauer's always been noted for. It's nice that it really resonates, with these young pitchers.
Yeah, part of it with Trevor, moving aside all the other stuff we could talk about, is that's kind of one of his jobs now. He's a content creator, and his content entertains, but it also informs as someone who takes it in. Fouled back to the screen from Presley Corville. But you're right. You're going to hear a lot of these pitchers mention that. They'll stop by, they'll listen, and he does break down outings. He's mic'd up during games now in Mexico, talking through games. It's not boring, that's for sure. There's the breaking ball he wanted to throw. That's strike 3.
Yeah, that's the softer, bigger one. We'll classify that as a curveball. He overthrew the first 2, but it's only a matter of time before he gets the feel for it. But the arm speed is definitely there. I can see that him throwing almost a mid-80s breaking ball with that arm speed.
Dean Moss having an opportunity to continue to rise in his game, to play with his brother at IMG from Northern California, Dean, as he swings through that one. Moss coming off playing in the 17U WWBA, and you know this, D, because they talk about it, homering 3 times in that event.
And Dean Moss came into his power real early. When he was 13, he could hit the ball farther than anybody in this class when they were 13 years old. And what's been most interesting about his development is he hasn't gotten that much bigger, but he's become so much more athletic. And he was a kid when he was 13, 14, looked like a future first baseman with his athleticism. And he's obviously worked really hard on it. He's matured physically, and now he's a legitimate center field type athlete.
I'm going to tell you, your evaluation means the world to him, because in chatting with him last night, he wants to stick and stay and be respected as a center fielder, and he works at it.
Oh, you can tell how much he works at it.
Spoils that fastball at 95.
And one thing that's always intrigued me about Moss, and he has not changed a bit, as you look at his stance. He stands right up on the line, and he toe taps over the plate. I mean, somebody's going to call it on him sometime. He's got his feet on the line. Look at his lead foot. He taps it completely out of the batter's box.
Flicks his hands at that one and drives it to center field. Literally just threw his hands at the baseball and hit it 103 to deep center.
103. That says it there. That was not an aggressive cut. That was a 2-strike. I'm going to square the ball up, and just a easy swing. 102. What's that? 380 feet. Just reached out for it. Nice and simple. But that front foot has always got me. If you're a manager of an opposing team and you see that he's stepping out of the box every single swing, you can weaponize that against him at the right point of a game.
Hamilton dealing now with Trevor Belza. This is an Auburn commit. He's an Ohioan. He's from Grafton, Ohio. Plays for that Canes Midwest national team, 17U national team.
Bells is a hitter. Yes, he's a catcher, a solid catcher, but his best tool is his bat. He's got strength. He's always performed at a very high level, and there's lots of power there.
Yeah, can help out, hop up on the mound. He's versatile enough and athletic enough. Won an MV pitcher at a PG event. Was the Ultimate Baseball PG MV pitcher this year. Rose is high in the rankings as the top 50 last year. Swing and a miss.
There's some bat speed there, but not a lot of contact as River Hamilton just throwing 94, 95, and kind of overpowering hitters right now.
Wow, that's some big boy stuff. Giddy up. Take a ride and float down that river. You better move quickly. All right, we're going to run through this roster quickly. Give me a name each page, please.
Matthew Bowden, one of the best fielding shortstops. It looks like he's got stronger, but he's special to watch play defense.
That's 1 through 11 as we roll on down this roster. Again, another name you love.
Brock Kettleson, I haven't got a chance to see him sweet swing in California. Is going to Stanford, has really hit this summer.
Ty Southesine was an incredible player, older brother of Tate. And this final page?
Vaughn Necker. He's a guy we've known for some time, a hard thrower at a young age. We want to see whether, how he has progressed over the last year.
Jared Sable's brother, Blake Sable's in the big leagues with the San Francisco Giants. Detroit City in the house. And a proud Detroit last name. This is Blake Ilitch. Brother Rice, Detroit, Michigan is home. He plays for the Canes national team run by Jeff Petty. This is a Duke commit, and this is an athlete. He was a Select Festival guy. I'm looking at him right now in my shot. I haven't seen him downstairs yet. He looks bigger, he looks leaner, he looks bigger and stronger.
He's looking great. Illich is a young man who matured early. You know, some of these players at a young age, they haven't had their way. He physically matured early and was the hardest thrower in the class at a young age. But what he's really learned to do is pitch. He'll go out there and show you 4 or 5 pitches during a short outing. He's mature on the mound. Still has the velocity. I think we can see some 93s and maybe a 94 or 2. But he's become a real pitcher over the last couple years.
Famous family name, especially. He used to spend so many months out of the year in Detroit, Michigan as a younger man, but the Illich name so important in renovating the entire downtown and building and growing the Detroit Tigers and the Red Wings and the Fox Theater and Little Caesars Pizza. Well, that's Grandpa, the late Mike Illich, who has passed away. His dad is Atanas, his mom is Patricia, and Slater DeBrun. This is a sneaky guy that everyone should keep an eye on as we get ready to go. And a slider hits the inside corner for strike one. Why should everyone keep an eye on Slater DeBrun?
Well, a year ago, Slater DeBrun wasn't anybody on the circuit. He hadn't been out on the circuit yet. About midsummer last year, he came out of Oregon, and since then, he has dominated. He's hit close to 500 in PG events in that time. He's played in, you know, some more USA-oriented stuff and done just as well. And he's a performer in that Slade Caldwell from last year's class. I believe his favorite player is Corbin Carroll, and he has that kind of quick twitch, small athleticism that you find in those players. And I've never seen him play, and he's one of the players I really am looking forward most to see playing out of these 300 plus.
Well, he is from Bend, Oregon, so northwest. That checks the box. Carroll is from Washington, and you're right, he does idolize Corbin Carroll as he spreads out wide in that box. Swing and a miss. I'll tell you, the breaking balls, there was one slider and 2 curveballs, and they all were dynamic.
Yes, and I said at the beginning, Illich has really expanded that repertoire, and this is big. That's a big downer curveball. 19 inches of downer break to that.
On occasion, Blake will get a call to come down to the ballpark and go to Comerica and toss with a rehabbing Detroit Tigers guy because of his family ties, and that's always a fun experience to get that call. Just to play catch. If the team happens to be out of town, they'll call Blake and he'll come and just toss in the outfield.
And when you grow up in that big league environment, you start thinking like a big leaguer. You're comfortable around big league ballparks.
Vegas is the home of Mr. Claus, Ethan Claus, Las Vegas, Nevada, Texas A&M commit. Plays for John Pano in that great CBA Marucci program. Palo Verde High School.
Well, it's working from the stretch with nobody on.
That's that curveball again.
That's his pitch early on.
Claus's dad is Josh, mom is Jennifer.
That's a nice shortstop's body on Claus. Long and lean.
3.4 GPA in the classroom. Ethan Claus. Dustin Romero, his head coach at Palo Verde High School. 93 miles an hour.
Yeah, you can see Illich trying to get on the same page with his catcher, 0-10 over. And I guess when you have 4 or 5 pitch offerings, getting on the same page with your catcher who's catching you for the first time could be a challenge.
Owen's my guy. He's from Brooklyn, New York. He came in and joined us in our Brooklyn studios. Right. What a wonderful young man. A great family. You got Detroit. You got some heart and heritage. Detroit and Brooklyn working together.
How about that?
That says America right there. I love it. That's the pitcher and the catcher. Yeah, 0-10 over a wonderful young man. Rolled that breaking ball foul. He does love that curveball.
And that's a pitch that looks like it can be effective high in the zone, coming in the top, or dropping out the bottom of it.
And it's one that he already showed early to DeBrun. It plays against righties and lefties. It's with that straight down dive. It does not discriminate in who it can retire. Fastball with some jump at home plate. That's strike three. Lost his hat.
And that's a weapon with the curveball. Those two pitches can be used in tandem, in sequence. When you throw a curveball that starts at the top of the zone and you're tunneling it, and you throw that fastball in the same spot and get that kind of vertical rise. I didn't catch the number, but creating those different planes, changing the hitter's eye level can be so effective.
It was about a foot, about 12 inches.
But very well located.
This is big power. Orange Lutheran, Josiah Hartshorn. Southern California, Texas A&M commit.
That's a slider. That's a slider there. That's a different pitch entirely. From
Shorter,
the big 12-6.
more firm, right?
Yeah, firm, 81 miles an hour compared to 76. Different shape profile completely. And there's the slower curveball, so 76 miles an hour with 18 inches of vertical. And you can just see now Hartshorn, one of the top hitters in the country, certainly just stands out for his power. He's all set up for any pitch now. He doesn't know what's coming. It's going to be 93 fastball, and he does a good job just getting a little bit of wood on it.
Illich showed up ready to go to work, boy. This is some presence he has out there. Hartshorn, by the way, the son of Chris and Megan, and he's got younger twin sisters, Tristan and Taylor, and his younger brother is Luke, who looks up to him. As David said, he is known for light tower power. Rolled left side on the run. Pretty play. Throwing strikes. Has a good defense behind him. Boston Kellner. He's at home on this diamond. And though this man's from Detroit, Michigan, he looks really much at home in Phoenix, Arizona. This is a nice defensive play here, certainly, and then a fastball that really plays up. So we welcome you back to Chase Field, where, this is the yard where a guy like Zach Gallen works. It's his yard when he is right. He was the ace of that staff and back healthy again. So on the mound that Zach calls home, we're seeing a couple of pretty good pitchers early on.
Well, both these young men, for different reasons. I mean, River Hamilton stands out for he's throwing gas right now, and that arm is so fast. It's 94, 95 now, and I don't think he's done growing and adding velocity. Still needs some work on that breaking ball, at least right from what we've seen so far. He's getting a little rushed on it. But, I mean, when you can bring the gas like that, and Illich, on the other hand, shows that polish of being in a big league environment, of being a big-time pitcher when he was 13, 14 years old, and using different breaking balls.
Mason Braun fouls that one off. We're talking about the big presence of Hamilton. His dad is Gail Hamilton and his three siblings. Zips that one tight in. A slider with some back foot dive to it. Did it get the back foot?
I'm pretty sure it got the back foot really square. Yeah, back foot. He's like, That's a one strong young man, Mason Braun. Yep.
Oh, well, they call it a back foot slider. The hitter doesn't want it to hit the back foot, though. Yeah, Mason Braun, first baseman. He'll play a majority of that spot there today. He'll play right field the last couple of innings. That base has been tested for Brawny out of South Bend, Indiana. He's at Penn High School. Changeup and a good one away.
I don't think it was supposed. You see Vinny Cervino behind the plate saying all fastballs. I think what happened there actually is Hamilton slipped. His front foot slipped when he landed, and he just didn't have anything to plant off of, and that was just a mistake pitch due to the being off balance.
Mason, an LSU commit, was initially committed to Virginia Tech. Jay Johnson earned his commitment at LSU to follow that up. Some life and some zip and dive, and quite a bit of dive, 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's almost like this might be a two-seamer as opposed to a four-seamer, because it had a totally different pitch profile. Maybe it's something, yeah, we're in a all fastball only count, so we're going to make an adjustment. You know, sort of a different look. Yeah, it qualifies as a fastball, but it's going to have a different shape to it.
So big opportunity for a player like this. This is Boston Kellner. He did move from Colorado, but he's an Arizonan. And it means a lot to be named as a local player in your major league stadium. So this isn't the only deciding factor, but this showcase important for Boston Kellner.
Oh, yeah, and Boston Kellner has always been one of the top hitters in this class. He's strong. He has a great swing. It's an under control but strong swing. And you look at the numbers he's put up in high school and in summers and all, he just hits. It's almost a surprise when he doesn't square a ball up.
Gary and Robert, his parents. Calgary, Alice, and Dayton, his siblings, as he lifts that one foul, does Kellner. So he's a local product. That means the Diamondbacks, now his home team, left the Rockies behind, but he is a Mookie Betts fan. He goes on to say, I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos and I've learned a lot. There's another major leaguer, or Bowers, a former major leaguer, sharing their thoughts through social media, through videos. Runner on the move, throw down, pretty good one. Tag popped down there. Nice job uncorking that one from behind home plate. Vincent DiCarlo, the catcher. There's Dean Moss thrown out there. He was running.
196 on the replay, trusting that's full time, but 196, a very good in-game pop time.
Kellner saying he learned a lot watching Mookie's daily routine. He said, I've learned to be more regimented, and every single day to get my rest, to take care of my nutrition. Watch a guy like Betts make his journey public in that area.
I don't know about you, Darren, but you can look at some of the real unique things happening in baseball now with Aaron Judge's power and Shohei Ohtani and everything he does. But I think for 2024, the most amazing thing that has happened is Mookie Betts coming in from right field, where he's played, has been a Gold Glover, and coming in and playing shortstop for one of the top teams in baseball and doing it well and still maintaining his ability to hit. I know he's out now with the broken hand, but it's just incredible that you can do that.
Speaking of shortstops, as you speak of a shortstop, it is amazing what Mookie does, but Malosai Mataafa Alferos, the Hawaiian, with a nice play that time.
It's great seeing a young Hawaiian here. We'll get another look at it. Maybe a little confusion between the two, but Malossi hangs with it, makes a strong throw. He threw 98 in the drill. He had the highest velocity in the drill, so you know the arm strength's there. He knows the arm strength's there, and it came to very good use on that play.
Malossi Mataafa Alferos. 0-10 over.
There's your Brooklyn boy.
Loved every moment of getting to know him. Really good student. It's fun when you anticipate those conversations in our Brooklyn studios, and you know that, you hope anyway, that you're going to see an athlete that makes his way here down the road. And Tanuver was one of those. Tanuver, a line drive base hit. Brooklyn in the house. That one will roll for a bid. Take off, Owen. He touches second. He's thinking third. Owen on his horse. Owen Tanuver with a triple. The pride of Brooklyn. And an Indiana commit.
And the Navy dugout reacted to that when he slid into third. That was a happy dugout. He has the attention and respect of his teammates, and going for third. A catcher with the triple. 101 off the barrel.
Wow. Take a look at the pitching in a moment. By the way, I think Owen has to go back out and catch. Look out, David. What'd you see?
I saw a great arm. Yeah, that's a slider there. River Hamilton's gonna have to work on that breaking ball a little more, not drop the hand and maintain the arm speed. But what an arm talent, up to 95. And I like the way he changed the shape on that fastball too at times.
Owen had some help for a minute as he makes his way out. He's caught his breath now. Owen Tanuver, who tripled the New York-based catcher, and he is working with Ilitch, who's got a couple of more warm-ups.
Well, that's part of the hard. I mean, a catcher's the hardest job on the field, and we know that, and they certainly know that. And doesn't mean, even though you just ran 270 feet as hard as you can run, you might not have to go back right to work.
And that's exactly what he does. A couple more tosses for Ilitch. That was fun, though, and good for him. Hitting a baseball hard, getting the chance to run the bases. Ilitch, if you just hopped in for what now will be his second inning of work, he really believed in his secondary curveball, occasional slider, but it made the fastball, which touched 93, play harder because of that.
Yeah, and this, he's shown 3 pitches. I've seen him with 4 in the past. There might even be some 2-seam, 4-seam on the fastball. And a lot of smiles. Either that Navy team is really gotten really tight already, or so both those meetings behind the mound, there's a lot of smiles. I'm sure Ilitch knows a lot of these players just from being everywhere over the last couple years, and there's some happy players out there. Let's see how the Happy performs.
Breaking ball, ground ball, diving play at first. Ilitch to the bag, got him. Wow, what a play defensively. Mason Braun takes a base hit away from Reagan McCluskey.
And that might be our top defensive play for the 6th game of the National Showcase. That takes 2 to make that play, and Braun was outstanding. Obviously not feeling any problem with that heel. He was full out diving for that.
Boy, great effort there. And you mentioned it. Ilitch has got to get his tail over to first, and he did.
Yeah, we don't even have anything making replay on if Ilitch doesn't get over to first base.
No, you're exactly right. Oh boy, what a beautiful, beautiful play that was. As that one skips in there. This is Caleb Barnett. We'll take a peek here.
Yeah, you got to get a replay on this. Full out dive. Look at the range. Ilitch is right there. Perfect PFP.
To the backstop it goes. 1-1 the count. This is Caleb Barnett. He's from Mountain Brook, Alabama. He's a Crimson Tide commit.
Yeah, now batting practice was not loud last night. Maybe it's these guys had all been traveling during the day, but the one guy who stood out with a loud batting practice, and he's been hitting the ball hard for all summer, is Caleb Barnett. He really, really took a good round. Ilitch just seems to be pitching him a little carefully. But Barnett, the 53rd ranked player in the class. He's also very talented on the mound. I'm not sure whether he's scheduled to pitch. It's not today, maybe tomorrow, but a two-way talent with power really standing out as his tool.
Couple of strikes on the batter and an opportunity with a 2-2 count for Ilitch to go back to work. Barnett, the son of Stacy and Chris. Big Bryce Harper fan, one of the guys that he pays attention to learn a bit about the game, though he's a right-handed hitter. Bryce, of course, from the left side with his special level of play. Perfect game All-American, by the way, Bryce Harper. Outside corner, that's strike three, 93 miles an hour.
Barnett might have appealed that if that's possible. Just barely caught the low outside corner.
Jack Ruckert, we've been watching him for a bit, and he has been performing for a long time. Two-time Select Festival athlete. Louisiana man, LSU commit.
Going Baton Rouge, Louisiana, going to LSU. You know, you love seeing your middle infielders be left-handed hitters, and Ruckert swings the bat. Really a solid skills and tools across the board.
One of the great high school programs. Brad Bossa is the coach at Catholic High in Baton Rouge. He grew up his entire childhood in that unique and fun city. Has always dreamt of having the opportunity. Can't imagine having that come together where you grow up in a city where there is a prominent university and you play one of the sports that they feature. You hope to play for them someday, and then you get to. It's kind of crazy if you simplify it like that.
Yes.
First team All-State performer. Swing and a miss. Good slider that time.
Slider that almost had the effect of a changeup.
Well, I'm curious because he shared in his bio that he is throwing a split-fingered fastball now.
Okay.
Maybe that was it.
That without having access to the spin rate.
That's the key.
Yeah, I mean, if you could see the spin rates, the shape of the pitch, you know, that really didn't tell, but it looked like a split finger. Great call, Darren.
Well, he said, and here's the thing. He said, what I love about it is it has low spin. He mentioned 700s as some of the numbers.
If he's getting down at 700s, that's unicorn territory.
By the way, he thought he had thrown strike three. I think it was maybe a little bit up, but I like the confidence.
Well, he has a concept of dropping the curveball into the top of the zone, which is not something that I don't think there's probably a lot of professional pitchers that have that concept. But with what we're doing with the analytics now, it's become a pitch. And Ilitch obviously has, you know, accessed all that, the baseball intelligence to process it. And I think that's what went on there. I want to see a split finger again.
Instead, it was a fastball.
All right, what pitch are we going to see here? We're going to see the 93 fastball. We're going to see the slider. We're going to see the curveball at the top of the zone, the curveball at the bottom of the zone, or a split finger maybe low and away. Catcher sets up right in the middle of the plate.
Spikes it in there.
I think that was the split finger.
Here's his words about it. I've simplified my delivery, and I saw very positive results, including my strike percentage. I developed a new pitch with my split-fingered fastball, which has been effective. RPM about 729 with good movement. So those are his words about that pitch. I still love the 12-6, old school. No one throws that pitch. It's tough to throw. Fastball misses outside.
And if you look down the charts that we keep, you know, for the performances all, and you can stream down them, the ratio of sliders to curveballs might be 3 or 4 to 1 slider over curveball at this point when you look at this level of pitcher. And then you have somebody who can throw both a slider and a curveball and throw them with some quality. That is as rare it gets on a 17-year-old pitcher.
4.21 GPA this past year for Blake, so he really did a great job. 3 AP classes, physics, English, and AP geography, human geography. So he's taken advantage of his time at a really good school, Brother Rice. He realizes how fortunate he is to attend a school like that. Zip that one to the backstop. That one too far away, and a run will score. So interestingly enough, that was 90. He has touched 93. Sometimes when you're working on a splitter, that could be the pitch that comes through your fingertips. Maybe a little bit too firm at 90, but if it comes through your fingertips, he just hasn't missed that badly with a fastball. That's all.
I think what happened here, this is, the 2 outs, second inning. It almost seems like in his body language reflects that when he didn't get Ruckert before it turned over, there was just there's almost an "I'm done" before he got done. He thought he got that call on the potential strike 3 that the umpire called up, and I think he backed off with his intensity, and has been struggling to find the zone, and the stuff has dropped off. But we'll just forget the last 5 or 6 pitches and remember all the quality pitches that Blake Ilitch threw before that.
He's been great. He's been great. I can understand an athlete emptying their tank at an event like this. Yeah, I think those are fastballs. I think he's just, the body is leaving the arm behind just a little bit.
He's running away from it. 10 over going to come out and calm him down, saying we only need one more pitch.
Said, listen, if I can come out and catch after having to run out a triple, I'm going to buy you a little bit of time, and you're going to be just fine. As we said, Brooklyn meets Detroit here in that mound meeting. And 2 that, selfishly, just mentioning myself, I've gotten a chance to know both very, very well. 2 really unique and good kids. That's what makes these events, that's what makes sports fun, Different parts of the world, different upbringings, working together here, trying to help the other one through now. Against Jack Ruckert. Fastball popped up. Jack's going to make him work a little bit more. Ilitch talks about his inspiration. He says, Mike Ilitch, my grandfather's work ethic, generosity, and how he was so humble. Played in the minor leagues. After his playing career, became an amazing entrepreneur. His work ethic inspires me. I'm going to guess that's the split finger fastball. Can we call that one the splitter?
I don't think it was. It's 89.
Sinker?
It might be a 2.
He was good.
It might be a 2-seamer. I wouldn't doubt he throws a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer with all the other pitch manipulation that he's into.
Look at that sweat pouring down that brow. What'd you see, my friend?
I saw what I was expecting to see, and that's as high a compliment as I can throw. He showed all his pitches. He showed quality. It should be something that translates immediately to the next level.
Bilake. Back at the ball yard being Chase Field. Jack LaFlamme out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Hey there, that's my hometown. And he's at Brophy College Prep, which is in Central Phoenix, right on Central, as a matter of fact. LaFlamme plays for USA Prime National Detroit Tigers scout team. He is an Arizona commit. And when you have a spelling like that, Jack, as he deals with Luke Billings, I appreciate you giving us a pronouncer, which he did. L-A-F-L-A-M. LaFlamme.
I believe the number 2nd ranked pitcher in the 2025 class in the state of Arizona.
There's a lot of length and lean length out there.
That's what's the cliche? A tall drink of water.
He is. There's elbows and knees coming at you.
Yeah, this is kind of an unusual mechanics. Full head over, hand over the head. It's closed with the front side coming around his core. There's a lot of distraction there for the hitter.
6'6".
6'6", 175.
A lean 175. And time is called. His foe is Luke Billings. Billings, an uncommitted athlete. Plays for the Canes national team. Prosper, Texas, as he knocks that one right off the end of his bat. This tall right-hander committed to Arizona late 2022. Impressed with the program. Got to know Coach Vance. Enjoyed his time down in Tucson. That one is smoked all the way to the wall. Billings stops at second. Luke Billings, 96 off the bat. It's a double for Luke.
And Billings may be uncommitted. He certainly isn't an unrecognized player. Ranked 46 overall and an extremely versatile athlete. He's listed as a primary outfielder, but he has a lot of experience catching. There's a chance that might be in his future. I wouldn't be surprised that one of the reasons he's not committed is finding the right niche. Somebody who might play him as catcher, he may have a priority to play a different position, but he's one of the more versatile players in the class, and also is 91 off the mound.
Ethan Bingaman. He also joins that Canes national team playing with Luke Billings, and he also joined some really talented players as he transferred to Southern California's Corona High School. From Arrowhead Christian, Andy Wise will be his new head coach. One of the top programs in the nation this past year.
Corona's sort of become a destination school, and much like Hamilton High School here in Phoenix, I mean, you have people, Brock Kellner being one, who are coming in to play at Hamilton. And the same thing you have, it seems like, at Corona. There's been a lot of transfer into Corona, and they ended up the year as the #1 team in the PG high school rankings.
Bingaman's an Auburn commit. Initially was a Cal Baptist commit. That's a school in the Riverside area. And things opened up as his play opened up just a little bit in Auburn, and the opportunity to play in the SEC appealed to him, so he switched things and is headed to Auburn.
Okay, Bingaman is the young man who last time we saw him, I don't know whether we were doing the game, he was a Cal Baptist commit, and I think we got into that, what his reasons were for Cal Baptist, but he has just, changed. He's now the 108th ranked player in the country, where I think we're going to see him pitch tomorrow, but really a two-way type prospect. He posted one of the 100-mile-per-hour exit velocities yesterday in testing.
Matter of fact, David, he went on and on to praise Cal Baptist, and he said, I have nothing but positive things to say. When this is his brand new questionnaire, wanted to make it clear how much he appreciates them.
That's great. Great to hear.
He just said, I felt a bigger challenge was something that I wanted to take on, and he's earned it now. That's a great mid-major program, by the way.
Ooh.
Heavy.
What did that pitch do?
Just heavy, like it had an anchor attached to it.
Yeah, the board calls it a sinker, and that definitely is that. That's a two-seamer. It was 89, so it's not out of context for his fastball, but that had just outstanding life. If he can duplicate that life in that location, he's going to embarrass some hitters.
This is Miami commit Eddie Zahn. He too on the Canes national team for Jeff Petty. Venice High School. Greg Faulkner, the head coach there. back. I feel like one of the first games I ever called in a booth with David was at Venice High School, an event that we did together. I recall David carrying me through that game. I think I flew a red eye in, and David just carried me the whole game. Nothing's changed.
You were young at this level of baseball then.
Boy, that is just a power sinker.
That's 94. That's a 94-mile-an-hour power sinker.
Yeah, a lot of sinkers with effect are ground ball pitches. There are a few swing and miss sinkers.
Yes, and Zahn is one of the best hitters in the country. We know that. He's ranked 35th. Bat is his tool. He dominated in Jupiter last year against the best pitching in the country. I have a Jonathan India comp on him. I think it's one of the tighter comps. I remember, and then he gets that big sweeper. I'll use that word, Darren, a sweeper.
Okay.
That works perfectly with the sinker.
Well, you're a scout. If you use it, that makes it an official word. You're not just a wannabe announcer like I am. I mean, if a scout uses it, it's real.
I don't like using that term, but it had 15 inches. It came sweeping across the plate at 82 miles an hour, and it was the perfect pitch to throw after throwing power sinkers on the previous pitches.
Many of you at home, I'm sure, wanting to call it a slider. Here's Hogan Nelson. But you're not allowed to call it that anymore. I mean, David's fine with it.
I'm not fine with it, but I am subject to peer pressure just like everybody else.
Hogan Nelson is a Dallas Baptist commit. Speaking of really great mid-major programs that play like a Power 5, that's one of them with Coach Hefner.
I'm not even sure you can classify Dallas Baptist as a mid-major.
No.
They are so – I mean, yes, I know
that's
it's
like
a private
saying
school.
Gonzaga's a mid-major in basketball.
Exactly. It's a small school. It's a small private school. But they're so good every year. And so many of their players end up playing professionally and get drafted high. And the key to that program, as much as any program in the country, players get better there. They have great player development with Coach Hefner and his staff.
Well, that's where Hogan Nelson is going. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball that time. Liberty Christian School, Billy Jordan is high school coach. Curtis and Courtney, his mom and dad, an only child, Hogan Nelson. A couple of times he's been an all-state competitor. Runner takes off. Hogan, high fly ball, left field, over the shoulder. Deep rundown out there, and a nice play by Josiah Hartshorn. Couple of bags for Luke Billings earlier this inning. And a flex with some of these pitchers, but on occasion the hitters are allowed to show who they are as well. He thought about three. It went all the way to the wall. Bottom of the third in a moment. New York again, this time Port Chester, New York. Citius Prep, Melvin Perez, we know him pretty well. He runs that great prep program and academy. This is Sebastian Santos Olsen, Miami commit, Canes national team. This Navy Blue team has quite a few from the Canes roster, as we talked about earlier. But again, he is making a run at things, climbing up the ranks, and a chance to flex who he is. Victor and Amanda, his parents, his brothers, twins, Benjamin and Xavier, who are both 16 years old. But Sebastian, it's his turn.
Yeah, big body, 6'3", 215 lefty. Has been up to 93 this summer already. Expect to see some power stuff coming out of his arm. Has done a good job throwing strikes in the past. Last year, 26 innings, only 10 walks, 32 strikeouts, and almost 65% strike to ball ratio. So always like to see big power pitchers who throw strikes.
From Scotts Valley, California, Brock Kettleson is the hitter. He's in the hole 0-1. Kettleson, Stanford commit. Trotsky, his travel team, Abe Ruiz. Adam Vardaresian, a couple of coaches leading that Trotsky Brewers scout team. Ouch. A couple of strikes, and hopefully he'll be able to walk that one off.
Now, this is an unusual delivery from Santos Olson. It's kind of convoluted, out of the stretch, but not really. It's something he's obviously very comfortable with, and I think it gives him a lot of deception. And that last fastball is 93, and that just jumped on Kettleson there. But take a look at this and see if you can describe it on first try here, Darren.
So it's interesting. Oh boy, that is unique. That's exactly right. It's funny talking yesterday to Miguel Syme, who's one of the top pitchers in the country. He's out of New York with a high velo fastball from the right side. His windup is a variation of the stretch, but it doesn't have that kind of turn and curl timing mechanism.
Yeah, there's just a huge coil there, and I'm curious what he's going to do with a runner on base.
Probably changes.
I would think it has to change.
David, he told me he plans on not worrying about that. There will be no runners. That's his message to you. Why are you putting runners on base?
That's a great positive thought.
3-2. We may be about to find out against Mr. Kettleson. 4.2 GPA in the classroom for Brock. A couple of AP courses this last year. Scholar athlete for his school as well. Good for him. Well, you're about to find out. Kettleson talking with us quite frankly and transparently said, this last high school season, I went through the biggest slump in my entire life, but by forgetting about the game and realizing my performance just day by day doesn't define me, I got through it, overcame it, pushed through, and was better for it. But he shared that as something he's overcome recently, that it was tough. Especially when you're a top 100 player and you're human. Go through that human moment and throw down, and Kettleson is defeated that time. Fastball with a little bit of giddy up on it. Diving at the plate.
I never got the impression that Kettleson was at all comfortable with that left-on-left matchup, that he just wasn't seeing the ball at all.
Tate Southesine. Brother Ty was one of the great stories of last year's All-American Classic. Troy and T, they all play baseball, his brothers. Aggressive swing. He is at Henderson, Nevada is where he hails from. Wow Factor, his travel team, and he's at Basic High School. Gino DeMaria, his head coach.
Now that hand position to start that swing is unusual. Tight and low, and you just have to have fast hands, enough confidence in them to swing the bat from that hand position.
Tate, a really good student, top 10 in his class academically at a challenging academic school.
Eric Davis, that's who started the bat like that.
I gotcha. Broken bat, single right field, and it scores a run. The runner was on the move, and that does score a run. Unfortunately, he lost his lumber, but the good news is he's got an RBI.
How many bats do you think are laying around the Southesine garage back in Henderson?
A lot. A lot. Meet Joe Forbes, catcher from Peoria, Arizona commit. Chip Hale's got quite a few athletes playing today. Joe goes to Mountain Ridge High School, Peoria, kind of on the northwest side of Phoenix. Spring training home of the Padres and Mariners over there in Peoria. South the scene goes, draws a pretty good throw. And it's a stolen base. That's a pretty darn good throw.
That was a really good throw, and I've been timing Santos Olson from the stretch, and he's 165 every time. And that's a long time. Really gives the base runners a big advantage. As long as they can read when he raises his foot, they pretty much got second base stolen no matter what the catcher does with that kind of pitcher release time.
That's Corville, by the way, the talented athletic catcher who made that good throw. Blocks it up, but a runner was moving. South the scene has gone all the way to third for Forbes.
A catcher's going to have to work hard with Santos Olson. I mean, it's really nice stuff. And really nice stuff is sometimes hard to handle for a catcher, too. There's lots of movement. There's different location.
3-1 the count to Forbes, son of Christina and Kevin, who idolizes, as far as watching baseball players, JT Realmuto, Philadelphia Phillies star. In on the knuckles. It's a fly ball left field. And it's an easy chance out there. Remo Indomenico makes the play in left.
And a third run comes in for the Orange team on that sacrifice fly.
Cannon Golden will play all three outfield positions today. From Beaufort, Georgia, Ole Miss commit.
Yeah, I think the one variable about that windup, really one of two variables that concern me, is Santos Olson starts with his weight so far forward, and he has to shift back, 12, 18 inches at least to get in over the rubber position. And creating that kind of variable is going to be inconsistent, because if he starts drifting early or if he doesn't get all the way back, his arm timing is going to be completely off. And it's a very hard delivery to replicate. And when you see him pulling a pitch, 2 feet outside to a left-handed hitter, it's because he didn't get all the way back and he opened early. And that's just going to, I think, until he simplifies that, yeah, it provides deception and all, and he's comfortable with it. But it's something I think a pitching coach at the next level is going to make adjustments with.
Pair of strikeouts in the inning and a couple of runs come across. We move along to the fourth inning. PG National Showcase. Darren and David, glad you're here. that QR code. You can see all the streaming providers. You can use one of those on your TV. We want you to get the app, though. Hit that QR code. We're the home to amateur baseball. It's a perfect game TV. You can watch online, but really, go on your smart TV. Get on your smartphone while you travel. Perfect Game TV, the future of the game, and the library just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We'll be live for a minimum of 70 live events this year. A bunch of them right now this week. That one is pounded foul. Julius Rosado. So LaFlamme, just not a comfortable at bat.
No, every hitter right-handed hitter who comes to bat against LaFlamme should be required to have that protector on his right foot, because that sinker is going to end up on a lot of right-hand hitters' foots after it's fouled off into the ground.
Skips into the dirt against a man from South River, New Jersey. He's at South River High School, Rosado. Rutgers commit. He's for Baseball Warehouse. Way to go, Joe Augustine. He runs that program.
That's a strong-looking young man right there.
And he takes high and inside. Has an upcoming family trip that he is cherishing the opportunity, knowing college life's upon him. That sweeping slider, as we talked about earlier. He gets a chance to, he said, I'm going to take advantage of spending time with my family. I know I'm leaving them after my senior year. Not too far away to Rutgers. But he gets a trip to Italy for his aunt's wedding in September. Come on now. I'm a little bit envious of a trip to Italy. That sounds special. And he said, and as I go into my senior year, I want to be present in all the big and little moments, and then finish strong leading up to graduation. That's what Julius said, our hitter. "14 home runs his junior year, 7 his sophomore, 4 his freshman." Big high school homer numbers.
Wow. I mean,
Inside.
14 home runs in a high school season is going to rank you maybe in the top 10 national.
I think so too.
And especially you consider, New Jersey baseball is pretty high quality. There's some good baseball being played there. They get in a lot of games that you wouldn't expect to at that climate. But 14 home runs really stands out. And just look at the strength. There's strength from head to toe there in that entire frame.
Ronald and Zulema, his parents, gives his dad a ton of credit for his baseball growth. It's a high fly ball, well struck left field toward the wall. That one goes. Goodbye. And Juju knocks it out of here.
Well, number 15 at least on the year. That was pretty much a no-doubter right off the bat. Lapham got that fastball center cut, and boy, did Rosado know what to do with it. Look at this, right there in the middle, bam. Looking at Jared Goodwin's face behind Jared's mouth is wide open, like, oh my gosh. Did we get a distance on that?
I didn't get a distance. I'm sure we can ask around. The kids will tell us somewhere, all these cool scouting kids.
I'm guessing it starts with a 4, though.
Our fearless leader, Steve Banter, reminding us to maybe check program on the screen on occasion. He said he shared it with you. He said that'll come up in our reviews at the end of the day today, that we weren't watching the screen. Brendan Horn takes right up under his chin. Wow, that ball was crushed. He kind of made his scouting report look really good, didn't he?
Oh, yes, that was...
In case you were curious if those numbers were accurate from his high school season, as Brendan takes low. Nothing more fun than watching a young player pull something like that off. New Hampshireite, by the way, Brendan Horn.
I should have looked at his numbers at WWBA events prior to this. In 2023, last year, he hit 7 home runs in 12 games.
What?
Yes, that's what it says right here.
Come on, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff. That's crazy talk. Horn rolls that one foul. He's a Vanderbilt commit, by the way, is Brendan. At Pinkerton Academy. Steve Campo is his head coach. Travis and Dita are his parents. Carrie is his stepmom. Talking about Brendan. Grinding this at bat out. Yeah, he's just grinding. Nobody likes that, Brendan. The man on the mound, you're just making him work. And as a hitter, what a trick and a key that is to be able to do. Horn, a middle infielder. Couple of state championships in the state of New Hampshire at his school. Yep. Have you moved past the home run? Or are you still stuck on it?
I was still looking up Rosado's numbers.
Mm-hmm. I figured. LaFlamme, a long pause. Little topper. And the pesky at bat continues.
I was also thinking it doesn't take away from what we've seen from Jack LaFlamme during his outing. Because he's come back and made some good pitches to Horn. Yes, he hung one there, but every pitcher does.
Was a player long time ago. I'm sure very few watching remember Scott Stahoviak. Made it all the way to the big leagues. Remember that name?
Oh, yes, I remember Stahoviak.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. Horn. Boy, if ever a hitter has earned a base hit, it's him. Kudos to him on that at bat.
Yeah, that was just pure quality. You know, fighting off hard pitches. And remember, LaFlamme is out there throwing 92, 93 miles an hour and has dominated some very good hitters. And he competed there and was rewarded for it.
Good point by you, because usually pulling a pitch like that is a fool's errand. It's just tough to do, but he got it through.
Yeah, and there's a point when you start seeing a pitcher, you start getting that barrel out on time out front. And especially, I assume that was a fastball only count. That certainly helps it.
Zaire Barham out of Miami. Zaire at Christopher Columbus High School. Joe Weber is his coach, plays for the Canes Midwest Scout Team. He came with the fist bump for the catcher and the home plate umpire, a la Shohei Ohtani, who always seems to greet everyone when he comes to home plate. Zaire did the same thing. Nothing wrong with that. An uncommitted athlete. This is a wonderful opportunity for him. 1-1 the count.
There has to be a story behind why Barham is not committed. He's a hitter. He hits every time I've seen him. He's hit over 400 2 of the last 3 years on good volume at WWBA events. So he comes out and performs, can really swing the bat.
He said his greatest challenge, and maybe this is what has had him pause to consider places. He had labrum surgery last summer. Last half of the high school season he missed on his left shoulder.
Okay. That can potentially explain a lot right there.
He said, I had done so much prior, and I didn't want it to all go away, so I had a lot of faith and worked on other parts of my game, my mind, other parts of my body. My shoulder now feels better than it ever has, he says. Yeah, I asked him to share a scouting report. He said, and I quote, strong-built middle infielder, good range, good enough arm to play on the left side if you need me. I slow the game down at the plate, even feet, use my lower half well, short and effortless swing, a lot of power for my hips and lower half. That's who he is, according to him. He rolls that one foul. And you talked about his hit tool. That's a compliment coming from you.
And there's a profile there. You know, if he ends up at second base, the offensive second baseman. He looks like that profile and he performs like that profile.
Got him that time. Slider, strike 3. Gabriel Milano played second base first couple of innings. Will play second base last few innings. Out of Doral, Florida. Miami is his school of commitment as that one runs high up and out of there. "17.5 years old. He plays for the Canes national team. Matter of fact, he seemed to get at least an at-bat per game in the recent 17U WWBA. Didn't start every game, but 17 total at-bats. So how about 8 hits in those 17 total at-bats? How about 9 walks on top of that? So a ton of plate appearances as well. Goodness gracious. Milano, as that one bounces foul, got on base 65% of the time in that event, David. I know you saw those too. Went and played at the Jupiter event last year. Had a couple of hits. Had a walk. Was 2 for 14. But you get a priceless experience. Gabriel playing with older athletes. Beautiful changeup. Wow.
And I think that was with Laflamme, it's often hard to figure out what pitch he's throwing because he has feel for manipulating. I think they're going to, if that's the 5th hitter, maybe we're going to cut it off there, but he has a feel for manipulating that's going to serve him well. One thing I did notice that inning, though, he's going to have to work on when he goes to the level that has the pitch clock. He might have to make some adjustments to his pace.
Okay.
But there's certainly with his arm, with the quality of his pitches, those are all going to play.
Well, they got that pitch clock in college baseball, so it's a coming. It's a coming. We'll step aside here. Chase Field, PG National. Beautiful swing of the bat, and we saw the crush earlier in this game. South the scene certainly with his
Dumping
big
on the
RBI,
plate.
and then
I wonder if Rosado does that every time he hits a home run, or maybe he's just a little overexcited by this one.
I know that was fun, Julius Rosado.
But what were you saying? He had 14, 7, and 4 in his 3.
Yep.
And he's hit 11 in 35 games in WWBA play over that same period. So that's what, into the 30s on his home run total right there. Add another one to it in a big league ballpark.
Matthew Bowden lifts that one foul off to the right side. Yeah, they'll be talking about that one.
Halfway to Italy that went.
I want to go on that trip. Colleyville, Texas. Goes to Covenant Christian, where his dad, Michael, is his coach as he fouls that one back. Texas sticks his travel team and a Texas A&M commit. 3-2 the count to Matthew. Santos Olson. Put a runner on out there. How about Slater to Brun? He said, I'll go run. Slater, who struck out in his first at bat, excited to get back out there, will bounce around as a courtesy runner now. Just rushing off and leaving his arm behind. Everything a little high up and out of the zone a bit.
And one senses with Bouton's actions in the box that he's not going to be the type of hitter to expand the zone very much.
Sebastian sees the runner go. Boy, gun down. Beautiful throw that time. My goodness, that's Corville again, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I'm looking for the replay on this, and I got my watch out. I should have got it the first time. I didn't get it that time either, but that's not going to get any better than that. Between the release, the accuracy, the power on the throw, A+.
Do it, Presley. Line drive, base hit left field. Bouton hurrying on around, looking for two. Fired in. Nice play defensively, and an aggressive head first slide. 2 bags that time. Nice playing left.
Got the fastball up in the zone and jumped on it. That was a nice play by the left fielder. Bouton was thinking two the whole way. A little bit of hesitation coming around the bag, but he's a 6'4" runner. He's going to be aggressive with his speed.
Remo Indo D'Amico, the left fielder, making that play. This is Jarrett Sable. Well, this is kind of a familiar PG name now, isn't it?
It's probably more familiar than Southacene in this group right here. I believe both his brothers, one of them Blake, who we mentioned, as he gets that one off where? Off his neck?
Oh, boy,
Ouch.
got him up
I
that
think it might
high.
have got his shoulder first, I hope.
Oh, boy, let's hope he's okay. Sable at Aliso Niguel High School is a USC commit. Stefan played for the New York Mets. His brother Blake plays for the Giants. Is he about to shake off being hit in the neck?
I'd like to see. I thought it hit his shoulder first, and maybe took a little bit of the blow off when it hit in the neck, but Sable was all smiles and all. There wasn't
Scary.
any hesitation.
Lucky, huh? Very lucky.
He gets a 91 fastball on the inside half as his reward. Yeah, the Sables all have had a very similar profile. They're all athletes who can play in the outfield, play at third base, play at first base, but they end up catching. But the athleticism always stands out. Jarrett looks like he might be the strongest at this age of the three.
Lifts that one foul up and out of the play. Stefan was an 09 PG All-American. So
09.
all three brothers perfect game All-Americans. And he'd like to, well, I can't say that yet. He'd like to continue the trend. All three played at this event, though. That last part's up to him. Boy, pretty pitch. It's called a ball. Couple of strikes on Sable. But the oldest bro, now 31, time with the New York Mets organization. Blake, who we saw as an All-American, that was, I should feel like that was a little bit earlier in my time, you and I broadcasting those All-American Classics together. 2015 PG All-American. Went on to USC. Blake, the older brother, with the Giants in the majors now, made his major league debut. I believe he had 12 or 14 home runs last year to the middle brother for the San Francisco Giants. Jarrett takes outside. And Ron and Teresa are the parents, the proud parents of all these fabulous baseball players. And Blake, by the way, an all-CIF football player at Aliso Niguel. Hence, being able to take a pitch in the neck. High fly ball center. Put away out there in center field, uncorked by Dean Moss. And a sac fly and an RBI.
Good at bat following a scary moment.
Yes, I'm so glad.
He had some good hacks after that and hung in on the lefty fastball. Let's see that fly ball. Yeah, Moss will learn to keep that momentum through the throw. He got to the spot early. He knew he was going to throw it. He'll learn that footwork in center field, how to maximize his throws.
Melosi, Mataafa, Alferos, Eva Beach, Hawaii, his home. Alpha Prime, his travel team for Coach Adam Farb, and he is an Oregon commit. David, he had some big metrics yesterday, yes?
Yes, 98 across the infield. We saw the strong arm earlier on a ground ball to shortstop. So there's definitely the tools there.
Andre and Rihanna, his parents. I asked all these athletes, so any unique family traditions that you guys have? And Melosi said, yes, every holiday we start off in the morning hitting and fielding. That's how we start our day. Then we spend the rest of the day eating and hanging out. Roll to the right side. Nice job getting to the bag. So that brings to an end the work from Santos Olson. Innings 3 and innings 4. Illich was in front of him. What do we see?
It's a very live arm. I think the concern is going to be about the mechanics, getting them consistent, but he's a lefty who can just sit in the low 90s, and those don't come around very often.
Big Von Neckar is the right-handed pitcher. He's out of Murrieta, California, Vista Murrieta High School. Plays for Abe Ruiz's Trotsky baseball team. And if I'm not mistaken, he is uncommitted at this point, yes?
Yeah, he's always had a commitment. I don't have it off the top of my mind, but I think he's in the process of readjusting it. And Von's been a name in this class for some time, competed in the 2021 Select Festival. Young man who got very strong at a young age, and he at one point was the hardest thrower in this 2025 class. Still is touching 94, 95, so he's still one of the hardest throwers in this class, and we'll see what he brings today.
There's a presence there, I'll tell you that right now. That's a big fella.
Yeah, he's used to being the biggest guy on the field, and yeah, a few people may have caught up with him, but you know, strength in the lower body, strength throughout the body.
Decorated as a USA athlete, an 18U USA gold medalist, 14U Select Fest. Came out here and played in the PG All-Star game, which is played on the Friday before the All-American Classic. Rising juniors playing that game. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. Dylan Rivera will play defensively all over the outfield. Uncommitted athlete, Puerto Rican native. Top 400 in the rankings. Breaking ball misses down and away.
That first fastball was 94, so
giddy up.
Definitely have the giddy up still there. And I like the mechanics. It's very simple, very well paced. Get yourself in position to repeat. Nice big slider there. Curveball slider. The algorithm's calling it a curveball on the big scoreboard in center field.
Little topper hugs the line, trickling fair. Went ahead and picked it up, and he is on.
Kind of surprised Molosi didn't let that one go.
I think in a truly competitive high school playoff game or something like that, that's let go.
Yeah, that's let go. Plus, you have a whole bench yelling, "Let it go, let it go."
Yes.
Then probably as well.
And a catcher.
It still looked awful pretty though. Watching the athleticism, and he threw a strike to first base with that big arm.
R.J. Machado. 0-1 the count to R.J. Sunrise, Florida. Ranked within 125 in this class amongst all shortstops. Look out, that one zips to the backstop. He takes a seat on his backside that time. Machado's dad is Roberto. Mom is Grease Machado. He's for Bruce Avon, the coach at American Heritage. Overthrew that breaking ball, fired down to third, and it goes into left field. The throw to the plate. Oh, baby, did he get it with the tag? Holy smokes, what a throw from left field that was. Hunter Meyer, if I have that correct.
I don't think our runner was really aware of how much danger he was in there.
Check that. That was Cannon Golden.
Cannon Golden.
With a cannon that was golden.
Oh, just barely misses that diving tag.
Cannon Golden. Never has a name been more appropriate, David.
What did Cannon Golden throw in drills yesterday? He threw 93 in the outfield drills.
I think he threw harder than that time.
That was, I was going to say the same thing.
R.J. Machado, fly ball right field. Brock Kettleson is there and makes the play. Remo Indomenico. Remo from Orlando, Florida. The First Academy, 17 years old. He attends the First Academy. 1-0 the count.
Remo 6'5" in the 60 yesterday, so he's got wheels from the left side there.
Sal and Lauren, his parents. Both of them attorneys. Remo. base hit right field, just over that outstretched glove. Good effort there by Jack Ruckert.
And Remo was rounding that bag hard. He was thinking, hey, if nobody's going to get to that ball, I might try for second base.
Presley Corville from Lake Charles, Louisiana, goes to Barbe High School. Coach Glenn Caccini, big high school coaching personality.
Coach Caccini has been there for a long time. I have to wonder where he ranks on the all-time list of high school wins, coaching wins.
You saying he coached Abner Doubleday? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying when I was working with the Astros 30 years ago, he was the coach at Barbe High School.
Sounds right. You should see those facilities there now. Oh, do they have support? He fundraises like a madman, passionate about his players. Anyway, that's where Presley plays.
And Barbe wins 35 games a year. So you throw in a little 30, 35 years of coaching at 30, 35 wins a year, and those numbers start adding up.
Kind of liking Presley's game. You? I mean, I'm not a scout.
I'm thinking in my mind quietly, this is an important at bat in some of the valuations. And Corville, that's not a rocket or anything, but he gets enough barrel on the ball to poke it into right for a single. But yeah, between his athleticism, his speed, we've seen the arm behind home plate with that outstanding throw to get a runner. Big leg lift. That big leg lift does concern me a bit, but it was a little late there, but he had the barrel control to get a productive at bat.
Dean Moss's chance now. And a couple of select festival guys dueling one another. Changeup pulled into the dirt. Corville hustles into second. Hey, think about it. If you are Jeff Petty and you run one of the more respected travel programs in North America, and your key catcher is that man out there at second base, that's a compliment.
It shows what a national program the Canes run. Getting his catcher from Louisiana.
Moss lined to center field, hit it hard just shy of the track. His first time up. 94 miles an hour.
I think Moss wants to see that pitch again. He's like, yeah, okay. I can hit that pitch. I just didn't that time.
Well, that's a good take. Just on balance, not jumpy. The list is really short of high school hitters that let that ball go by. Well, he went right back at him. That one split the plate.
That was just power on power right there.
This is fun.
Yeah, one gets the impression, Necker's thrown a fair diet of sliders in here, but this is just power on power. Through a first pitch changeup, but after that, it's just been 94, 95, 94.
Fastball again.
And that's where his swing is patterned through. That's the pitch that Moss is going to hit. That's coming inside like that. He gets that front side open, gets extended out front. Just missed that one. Sent it right back up here to our level.
His brother Dylan, 1 year behind him, a Stanford commit. Number 4 catcher in the nation.
Dylan has a chance to be one of the best catcher in that class. He was not at junior national. I think he has an injury right now. But yes, he has some real skills and talent. And it's a longer body than Dean.
Dean was actually giving his younger brother credit, saying his work ethic has rubbed off on me.
Oh, Jiminy.
I'm impressed by my younger brother's work ethic. I've learned something from him. Very complimentary in our conversation last night. Left a breaking ball up, got away with it. That's strike 3. At times, that hanger will fool the hitter.
Oh yeah, and he's geared to fastball. He swung at some 95s, taking some good cuts, and it just almost there's a letdown, and you let yourself swing at that ball out of the zone. But good effort by the hitters. Nice effort by Von Necker.
We go back to work with Parker Jennings, PJ, as he is known. Northern California, Granite Bay is where he is from, but he goes to IMG. He's an Alpha Prime competitor. Adam Farb is his coach, and Oklahoma State is his college of commitment.
Parker had a real nice outing at the 17-year-old WWBA about 2 weeks ago. Up to 90 on the fastball with a real tight upper 70s slider that tunneled real well with the fastball. I haven't seen a lot of them. A lot of players from Northern California don't get out on the circuit very much. It's kind of a hole in the baseball map occasionally, and it was great that Jennings could get down to Georgia. And I think as a result of his going there, that's why he got an invitation here to Chase Field in the National Showcase.
Ben and Robin, his parents, his older brother is Toby. And his biggest area of growth this year, this right-handed pitcher, has been his confidence. Vincent DiCarlo, catcher, NC State commit. There's that Cozart kid that catches at NC State. He's going to leave an opening behind over the next couple of years. He's off to the pros here soon.
We're going to see Jared's younger brother Sam here. I haven't checked the pitching rotation to see when Sam Cozart will be throwing, but looking forward to it.
Froze him. Locked up DiCarlo. Pretty pitch. Slider. Middle.
See that slider again. Just froze the hitter. And that's a sign that you're tunneling the pitch as well. Your fastball and your slider are coming out of the same release slot.
Hunter Myers from Alta Loma, California, and he's in the hole 0-1. Los Osos is his high school. Has played for the Ohio Warhawks. He's a Fullerton commit, Cal State Fullerton. Had a chance to play up last year with the Warhawks and go to the Jupiter event. Had 3 pretty important at bats, walked a couple of times. Has played just a touch at PG events, Hunter Meyer. There's that slider again.
I think we know what the weapon is.
Fastball, ground ball, and a fair ball. That's a long throw. Good effort. Both sides defensively, but that's a base hit here in the 5th inning. That's not a bad job at all by Kellner and Braun trying to turn it into an out.
And that's the right throw to make. The AstroTurf throw, the one-hop throw. Might have gotten a little bit of tail on it, but good effort by all involved. Also, 94 on that fastball from young Mr. Jennings.
Wow. Yeah, he's lean too, built like LaFlamme is built.
92 on that one. I'm not, that you look at that frame, obviously there's physical projection there, but Parker Jennings, it's a fairly small frame. Those are not wide hips. He's not going to be a young man that grows up to be, 210 pounds. It's always going to be slim and narrow. Obviously could hold a lot more strength, especially in his upper body, but that's a loose, fast arm, and the way he tunnels and replicates that fastball slider is very interesting.
Riker Benz is from St. Louis, Missouri, an uncommitted athlete that plays for that Banditos scout team. Rick and Beth, his parents. His brother is Easton, who's 14. Riker wins a bit for his family tradition. He shared, our Christmas themes are the best. Now, we host between 40 and 55 family members. Every year we have a new theme. It's always interesting and fun. My best theme ever as a family, in my vote, the Griswolds Christmas Vacation. We did it. Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Riker Benz. Good baseball name. Volunteers at Special Olympics events. Runs with a 4 GPA, 4.05. Love Clark Griswold.
Is it worth mentioning in context of Christmas conversation
Yes.
that tomorrow is July the 4th?
Absolutely. That means it's almost Christmas. Breaking ball is up and
Doesn't
inside.
that mean we're halfway there? Or?
Sure. July the 4th. Just step outside here in Phoenix. You can feel that Christmas is right around the corner.
All those sidewalk misters are going to have snow coming out of them.
That's ball 4. They'll put another runner on out there. Brock Kettleson will run, get some reps in. Quick conversation with Jennings. Parker Jennings, who has already touched 94 miles an hour. Bouncing ball, it could be 2. Got it out of the glove. Did he do it in time? He did not. Into the middle of the diamond and just a bit to get it out of that glove. R.J. Machado, the second baseman.
A little indecision there on Machado's part, whether to toss that to the shortstop or take it himself. Usually the best decision, if you're thinking about taking it yourself, go ahead and do it.
Back to Slater to Brun. Struck out first time. Pretty good pitch up and away. Might have gotten a commitment, but Slater, the call went his way.
Slater just looks like a ball player. Maybe it's I love the 5'9", 180-pound guys who aren't going to jump out of the program at you, but so quick twitch and so easy to compare to really good players.
Ouch. Goodness gracious. 91. Squares him up. Oh, boy. Oof.
He wants to say something right now. that can't feel good, because that got saw that when you get hit by a pitch and the ball drops down at your feet, that's never a good thing. It's not a glancing blow.
Yeah, somewhere maybe in his lower back, he's just trying to get some sort of momentum, blood flow in that area. They'll get a couple new baseballs. Yeah, just back up in the air, up under the shoulder
ball
blade.
Rolls right back to the pitcher. I have noticed with Jennings, you know, he allowed that single, the infield single off the 94 fastball, and his mechanics do break down some out of the stretch, and that's probably as much a function of just not having the strength to replicate out of the stretch as from your windup, because the stuff is still solid, but I think there's more effort to get to the stuff than when he was throwing from the windup, and it looks like he's going to go from the windup now with the bases loaded.
DeBrun ready, line drive center field, and it's a base hit. Couple of runs will score. He's loving running. They tag him out at home plate. Nice bounce back, though, for Slater. After being squared up in his back, he picks up a base hit. 102 off the bat, by the way.
This was almost an inside the park home run. The center fielder just barely got his glove on that ball, or it goes to the 407 sign in center, and DeBrun is still running.
DeBrun demand. Glad to have you back at the National Showcase. David Ronsley, Darren Sutton, and you, because you are hanging out with us, and we're better for it. We appreciate that. College commitments in the class of 2024. This event, this is what we see.
We see a lot of familiar names there. Is there any school there that is a surprise to you being near the top of that list?
No, none. Absolutely none.
A lot of blue bloods there. It's going to be interesting to see with some of the programs. Texas, obviously, has a new head coach. South Carolina has a new head coach.
Yeah, you betcha. You betcha. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. And with the ever-evolving world in the transfer portal and players moving here to there and athletes with a little bit more freedom, even high school athletes with a little more freedom before they go to campus to decide.
I don't think those programs are going to run low on NIL money necessarily.
No.
With those names, certainly.
All right, here we go. Sixth inning.
Here we get another power matchup. Vaughn Necker on for his second inning of work. Pretty much sat 94, a couple 95s. And Taylor Belza, who took a big hack his first time up, and some of the best left-handed power in the country, especially on a catcher. And Necker opened him up with a changeup, and that's a sign of respect.
There's the fastball. You could hear it at home. The Auburn commit Belza from Grafton, Ohio. St. Ignatius High School. A lot of sweep to that breaking ball. The curveball is dropped in there. Belza with a couple of home runs at the recently wrapped 17 UWWBA. 9 hits, 4 walks. Heck, he went to Jupiter and played up last year with the secondary Canes team. He homered at Jupiter. It's just 3 of 15, but one of his hits a homer. Inside corner, zip, 94, backwards K.
You know, I have to say I'm impressed with Vaughn Necker here. I commented coming out of the first inning because he's a young man, matured early. He's always had the stuff, has not really had a firm idea how to use it and use it in the strike zone. And he's hitting spots here. He's using 3 pitches. There isn't it used to be a lot of effort to get to 94. Now there's not nearly as much effort to get to 94 and 95 as there used to be. That one, he tried to be a little, get out of his envelope with that one a little bit, that breaking ball.
Got him in the foot, look like, maybe the ankle. Mason Braun.
Mason Braun's that's his second hit by pitch this game. He wore one in his back heel earlier, and he just got one off his front leg, I believe, right there. His uniform's all dirty from diving stops out at first base.
94, just a little bit low.
But getting back to Necker, he's showing more pitchability than any time I've seen him. He's pitching under control for the most part. And you can't sell short the ability to sit at 94, 95.
Fought that one off, shot it the other way. I don't know if in fact they make a play and throw him out. I don't think you're able to plant and do that. So just a soft line drive base hit.
That had some funky spin on it. I think that was one of those, the spin just eats up the fielder with that contact. Didn't go where he thought it was going to. Is that Boughton at shortstop?
That's exactly right. Yep.
And Boughton might have been thinking a little early about making the quick throw. That might have impacted the glove position as well. Austin Kellner with a big swing on a first pitch fastball. Puts him down 0-1.
Boston grounded out to short first time up. 6 total innings defensively at third base for Kellner. High pop up. Shallow left field. Cannon Golden puts that one away. 2 outs in the inning. Owen Tenuver, the Indiana commit.
A Darren Sutton favorite.
Yes.
I've got to keep track of those every year.
Owen takes strike 1. Owen, what do you want to do in the next year athletically? Get stronger and faster. Get better mentally. Get better at catching. Control a pitching staff better. Cut down on my strikeouts. And develop my arm to be stronger. Those are the things he wants to do.
He's already a pretty strong young man. And he just legged out a triple. So the speed and the strength are already there to a degree.
John and Natalie, his parents. Jackson, his older brother, who is 19 years old. That's strike 3. Wow, Necker flexing against the talented Brooklyn-based catcher. Mr. Necker.
Hey, I said it earlier in the inning. I'm just going to repeat myself. That was a very impressive performance, and I confess to not having the highest of expectations, but Vaughn Necker exceeded every one of them. And I'll say, you can't underrate the importance at this age of being able to sit at 94, 95 and throw it for strikes like that.
Well, it's a day here inside of Chase Field where it's been impressive to see what pitchers have done. This is a good shot at a very good catcher, Trent Gridlinger, walking into this yard, Huntington Beach High School. But there have been some moments for these pitchers. Von Necker just wrapped up his special moment, but the first two games have featured some unique pitchers. Not every pitcher the same. Some different heavy power sinkers, some good lefties, and again, an opportunity now to see if Jennings can sprint to the finish line.
And I think this has been a big revelation for Parker Jennings. He threw 8 innings at the WWBA, threw very well, but only topped out at 90 with an upper 70 slider. He's taken his stuff. Maybe this is a shorter outing. There's really adrenaline flowing. You're in Chase Field, but he's taken his raw stuff up a significant notch just from where we saw him about 10 days ago. And you've got to love the package with the body, the ease with which he throws. I'm going to be watching how he is from the windup versus the stretch, because that's something that he did struggle with last inning after he allowed a base runner. But it was an impressive first inning. Let's see if he follows up.
Ethan Claus hits a high fly ball to center field. A Nevada-born athlete, Texas A&M commit. First out in the inning.
And a message to young pitchers. You say, oh, that just went 375. He hit it. That was a changeup. I think it was the first changeup that maybe Jennings threw. But you got an early count out, routine out from it. Yes, the hitter hit it pretty hard, but you have a guy out there. And so keep throwing that changeup at the right counts to the right hitters.
Josiah Hartshorn will play his senior year at Orange Lutheran, and for the first time in a generation, Eric Borba won't be the head coach. Some of the numbers for Josiah, that's a really good resume. RJ Farrell takes over that program as Borba just hands it over. No reason except for just looking to go in a different direction after an amazing career, Borba at Orange Lutheran.
An amazing career. And Hartshorn, kind of an unusual player for Orange Lutheran, because power and Orange Lutheran. Orange Lutheran is kind of like the consummate California baseball style there. And power was not a tool that they traditionally developed a lot of. And Hartshorn obviously cut from a little different cloth.
Derek Curiel, who is going to LSU, a good example of what he's talking about, David. Mikey Romero, same thing. I mean, both of them could hit homers.
Oh, Mike Romero is, I haven't seen, leading teenage home run hitters in the minor leagues, but Romero is driving the ball in the minor leagues right now. And I have no doubt that Derek Curiel, whether it's in pro ball or at LSU, is going to really grow into his power. And that's not being critical of that approach, because it really maximizes some other parts of your game. But there's untapped power for most hitters who come out of Orange Lutheran and similar schools with similar styles of play in Southern California.
Yeah, that kind of California profile hitter, we're seeing him come alive in the big leagues for the Brewers. Bryce Terang, all of a sudden he's a doubles base hit guy this year. He really struggled offensively last year. Great glove, but his power's coming.
And Bryce Terang's going to appear on some top 10 MVP lists by the end of the year if he keeps playing like he is. He has improved so much in the last couple years.
Josiah lifts that one foul. Hartshorn, by the way, a Texas A&M commit, running with a 4.0 GPA, the son of Chris and Megan.
I'd like to see a picture side to side with Hartshorn and Jacob Parker. Parker was in the first group, big 6'4", 220, same profile, left-hand hitter from Purvis, Mississippi. They look very similar in the box and very similar physically.
Can we talk for a minute about, let me check on something with you. Hartshorn, a switch hitter. According to what he shared here, I mean, I was trying to recall this too. I said, what part of your game has grown since January? He said, base running and my left-handed swing, parentheses, I've been hitting left-handed for 1 month.
Okay. He's been hitting left-handed for 1 month.
That's what he shared.
I have never seen Hart. I will confess, I have never seen Hartshorn play before this.
What I recall was right-handed hitting.
Okay.
So I thought I'd share that with you.
The fact that he has the courage, not to mention the ability.
How about that? Come on, says Josiah. 1 month he's been a left-handed hitter, a base hit, and that's just, you know what that is? That's pure strength. Out at the plate, by the way. Nice play defensively, but that's just pure strength, isn't it?
That was incredible. That pitch was out of the zone. It's 90 miles an hour, and you have the athletic ability to get the barrel to the ball, something you didn't even know how to do a month ago. Well, that's impressive. Who's our right fielder out there, Darren, for the Navy team?
Let's see, we're rolling in the 6th inning, D, so that is Hogan Nelson.
Hogan Nelson. Let's have
Nice play.
Shout out to Hogan Nelson.
Reagan McCluskey, the hitter. And again, really nice throw out there in right field. By Hogan Nelson, grounded out toward third, charging on the infield grass and turned into an out by Boston Kellner. Jennings done.
Nice outing by Parker Jennings. I think he has put himself on a completely different part of the pitching and prospect map with that outing. Top 94, great slider, great effort by the California native.
Meet number 20, Reed Worley, Canton, Georgia. Cherokee High School, where Josh Thomas is his head coach. Now, his college of commitment is Kennesaw State. Reed Worley, the right-hander. A wonderful chance to see the son of Jay and Amy go to work at PG National.
And Reed Worley, it's been up to 91 at PG events. Strong-armed, loose right-hander. I'm intrigued by the Kennesaw State commitment. So I've always considered Kennesaw State one of the potential sleeping giants if they got the right staff there, the right situation. You know, located a couple miles from East Cobb. Every player in the country is familiar with Kennesaw State because you drive right past it, and there's so much talent in that Georgia area to begin with. You know, yeah, it's going to go to Georgia, it's going to go to Georgia Tech, but so much of the rest of Georgia talent leaves the state. If they could get that, and you see it happening at Georgia Southern, which has had some quality years lately, and the potential there is for Kennesaw State to be a team that wins 35, 40 games at least every year. You know, it's sort of like when you talk about Florida, you have UCF and South Florida, who just you're like, oh, they could get there, they could take that next step, and just waiting for the right set of circumstances.
Why did he choose it? Since you bring it up, these are his words. I chose Kennesaw State because of the staff. They're trustworthy. They think very highly of me. Most of the stuff that they have done has been clearly communicated. They've got a good history of scouting in pro ball, so the connections are there as well. That's why he chose Kennesaw State as he deals with Luke Billings.
I'm rooting both for Reed Worley and for Kennesaw State in that case.
Ryan Coe is the head coach there at Kennesaw State. Brad Tyler, Trey Fowler, Travis McClanahan, part of the coaching staff. An example of what you're talking about out here, David, is you have the ASU and you have the U of A, and now you have Grand Canyon.
Oh, yes.
A really good mid-major program.
Oh, yeah, and from what I understand, they invested significantly in that program with the goal to become the third school in Arizona, and they've largely succeeded.
Andy Stankiewicz, a jumping off place after building to go to USC.
And getting someone like Andy Stankiewicz to come there and give that kind of credibility to the program certainly doesn't hurt.
Luke Billings. 91 over the inside corner. Some good teeth on that sinker. Luke doubled last time up.
Oh yeah, Luke's having a great event with measuring well, runs well for a guy who may end up behind the plate. Yeah, he roped that double in his first at bat.
Tate Southasine, the shortstop, making the play that time.
Yeah, nice power breaking ball there. 82 mile an hour. Algorithm said it was a curveball. The velocity said it was a slider. It was a well located, very quality pitch from Worley. There's that tight slider, 84. I'd love to know the spin rate on that pitch.
Worley rocks and fires. Bingaman rolls it to the backstop. When he was asked about his South scouting report, Worley said, high baseball IQ, top tier spin ability, athletic delivery, and it's a fastball slider change. That's it, those three.
And it looks like a sinker. And, you know, sinker slider, I'm sorry, I'm old fashioned. I still like sinker sliders more than anything. Sinker slider guys. And Worley can be a quality one because he's not going to throw anything straight. And that slider had some real hair on it.
Eddie's on. Easy from Bradenton, Florida. Ed and Marjan, his dad and mom. Zon, a middle infielder. His favorite player, Anthony Volpe, one of our favorite alums. What do you recall about Anthony? It's only been a few years.
He was a guy who improved so much athletically between his junior and senior year. We have players going, you know, way back to Christian Yelich. You can say the same about a Gunnar Henderson, who went from being a borderline All-American. And with Volpe, it was always a question of his athleticism. He was a great ball player, highest skills possible, but you wondered about his tools. And he went out his senior year. He was stronger. Their big bat speed improvement, and the skills were still there, and he became a first-round pick. And obviously, didn't spend a lot of time in the minor leagues, and now has one of the more famous positions in baseball that he's playing, shortstop for the New York Yankees. And being a New Jersey native and how he's playing and how much he's improving, he's going to be the shortstop for the Yankees for a long time.
So Eddie Zahn, you look up to a good one. Zahn goes down on strikes. Good stuff by Mr. Worley. Kennesaw State. Coach Co, you've got a good one coming your way so far. This young man is a Duke commit. This young man is from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. His name, Christian Lucarelli. Riverside High School. And Iliastro is his coach, and he plays for Jeff Petty on that Canes National Mets scout team. So, Christian, we'll get to watch you work here. Excited about it.
Yeah, big power-armed right-hander, 6'4", 210. Has been up to 92 last year at PG events. Shout out to former PG scout, longtime PG scout, Brian Sikowski, who's now on the Duke coaching staff. And I know I watched some Duke games in the regionals just to tune into the Dukies because Brian was there, and looks like he's doing an outstanding job in helping Duke recruit these top players, Lucarelli being one of them.
Caleb Barnett, right out of the gates, waves at a fastball, 94 to start things. Lucarelli, the player of the year at the Class 3A in the state of Pennsylvania. He was all national team for small schools as far as Max Preps was concerned. And won a state championship, undefeated with his high school team. So really good year for this man. Now he wants to make it a good summer.
Yeah, he had a big outing at the WWBA to no surprise. 91-93 with 20 inches of vertical. A lot of carry in the strike zone. Mid-70s curveballs that he used late in counts to get swing and miss.
Zips that one over the inside corner and sits him down.
It's a power approach. He's looking to throw the ball hard. There's some recoil. He's following back over the rubber after he releases. So he's not getting over his front side, but he's delivering hard off it. And there's some real arm strength there.
This is another one that has added a split-fingered fastball to his repertoire. Fastball, slider, split-fingered fastball.
Yeah, the report I just read was mentioning a big curveball that he used often. We saw the slider there. We still see 94. When he gets over that front side, he's going to have 94 just about every time.
And he'll throw that curveball too. We mentioned that.
Yeah, got over the front. When he just watch when he lands. If he gets over his front side, that 94 is easy too. But a couple of his fastballs, he's recoiled, been too hard on the front side. But that's an easy fix if he's aware of it. And that's a easy arm.
Well, he's really athletic too. That small waist, broad shoulders. He's in great shape. Lucarelli against Ruckert. Jack. It's it hard on the ground. He's got himself a base hit, 101 miles an hour off the bat. Good players, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. 92 down in the zone. Nothing wrong with the pitch, just better job of hitting. Take another look. Yeah, nice short swing, crisp.
Stanford commit Brock Kettleson. What a quick arm, isn't it, folks?
There's going to be a lot of mid and maybe higher fastballs in his future. That's going to be a hard thrower. Young Mr. Lucarelli. Does he have any notes in his profile about athletic background, other sports?
Please stand by, David.
All right. We are monitoring my request.
Oops. Crossed him up there and it bounces free.
Yeah, that was just a general mess from the beginning. It was a cross up. It was a pitch that Lucarelli didn't get over. Actually, it's probably better off that he cast that curveball, because if he'd thrown a good one, the catcher was going to be completely fooled. All right, guys, let's get on the same page.
I'm here to tell you, Lucarelli speaks of no other sports at all. Doesn't mean he didn't play them, just didn't bring them up.
Yeah, and that one he recoiled on. Now, he has that presence. In the first game, we talked about a player, Connor Essenberger, who had athletic presence. Lucarelli has a lot of that same athletic presence, just by his look, his physicality, how he carries himself.
Well, it's a nice run for Pennsylvania baseball players lately. I feel like I see a ton of players that are playing in big moments that are from the state of Pennsylvania. Right back to the screen. Michael and Melissa, his parents. Dad, an educator. Mom, working in the dental field. Even when you go to his baseball back page on the Perfect Game site, he doesn't mention other sports. Again, doesn't mean he didn't play any. I'm dreaming of him being a hockey player when he was young. Oh, goodness. That breaking ball, strike three.
That was his best breaking ball so far, both for execution and location.
Wow.
Got out over his front side, creates a lot of spin on that, a lot of depth. And sometimes I know that left-handers have an advantage against a right-handed curveball, but a good pitch is a good pitch, whether it's right on right or right on left.
Tate south the scene. Fastball runs right up under his hands. 1-0 the count. Tate singled and scored, drove in a run. Back in the third inning. A quick sidearm throw from behind home plate there. Had to get rid of it very quickly.
Is that Corville behind home plate?
Yep.
I don't think any other catcher here is going to make that kind of athletic action on that. And just watch him bounce around, Corville bounce around behind the plate. He's very active. That isn't necessarily a plus being active, but look at the lower half flexibility that he has. He's like going into the splits. He's way low in his crouch. He's obviously very comfortable athletically down there. You know, just off the ground. That big movement into the splits, I'm not sure what that's accomplishing, but it's showing a whole lot of athleticism.
Yeah. He never really goes down to a knee, which is very common now with catchers.
Yeah.
Stays very low. As that one is high. Yeah, but you're right, goes from the traditional crouch and squat, in which he's already low, and then widens out his base.
And the way he jumps, it's obviously something that he's been coached into, you know, at Barb or somewhere else. The jump. Oh, what do we have
South
here?
the scene, drives it. That's what we have. A home run for Tate. 369 feet, 107 miles an hour off the bat. Another year later, we've got another South the scene making noise at Chase Field.
And I believe Ty had a home run last year. That one's out of the park, and that was the perfect swing for the perfect pitch to pull that to left field. And he got all of it, that's for sure.
Fun stuff there. Congratulations. 1-0 the count, Joe Forbes. Sac fly and an RBI for Joe. And the count 1-1. Well, right back at it. Lucarelli's got Big stuff, and Southacene answered.
Well, there, Forbes took a cut at that one.
Yeah, bat came out of his hands. Throws his nose on it, blocks it up behind home plate because that's what Presley does quite a bit. 3 total innings caught in this game.
I always appreciate catchers who, when there's nobody on base, are still blocking every pitch. It's something that's coached into them. I mean, it's not natural. If you don't have to block the pitch, why sacrifice your body? But it's almost a form of practice.
No doubt, and the pitcher appreciates that with 2 strikes if he does get a swing and a miss. It's a big thank you. Put a runner on out there. DeBrun, no surprise, he'll go run again.
Zero surprise on that.
It's kind of like JoJo Parker too.
Now, we've got a great matchup here with Corville behind home plate. DeBrun on the bases. Let's see if we can see some fireworks.
2-2 the count. Joe Forbes, hometown guy, drives that one to the corner and left, and it's hauled in. Tate Southacene, though, with the big blast, and that was fun.
That was fun. Darren, call it again. No.
You call it.
I call it. I've got a home run call. I just appreciate seeing that type of talent. He jumped all over that ball. 2 rows deep. Hat tip to Mr. Southacene.
All right, we're having some fun. David and Darren, glad to have you back. Got a new RMD. No, yes? Not yet, right?
No, I think we have Reed Worley for another inning.
Worley one more. That's exactly what we have.
And I'm happy for it because Reed Worley was very impressive that first inning of work.
I would concur. Sinker, good one. Breaking ball, good one.
Good one. I'll go up a grade or 2.
Yeah, great one. Very, very great one for Worley. Whole new wave of athletes come in, the skills, the testing. Mike Farron, Steve Phillips will have the afternoon and early evening broadcasts. Now, David, do you go down and scout down below, or do you call it and go to one of Scottsdale's great restaurants from here?
Yesterday, I split that. I actually did watch the first part, caught up on some other things, but we have 4 or 5 scouts down there. I'd just get in the way if I went down there. And
Hogan Nelson deals with a zippy fastball, 0-1.
Yeah, and it's with Reed Worley, we're talking about two things. We're talking about the slider, of course, which is a high-quality pitch right there. 83, I bet you that's close to 3,000 spin rate. I'm going to follow up on that one later. But his fastball, low 90s, and it's darting the opposite way. So it's a classic sinker-slider combination. Missed a little low with that 92 sinker, but it still had 17 inches of horizontal on that. That is really moving the other way.
Inside corner, there's that slider, just wrapped around the plate.
Yeah, and that's just a tough pitch. You know, you're used to sliders, you know, reaching, working away from you, and that's thrown right at your shoulder, your hip, and dropping inside. Just a tough pitch, and I really, if Worley was trying to locate it like that, oh no, that's a nasty weapon. That's not really fair.
Julius Rosado. Homered earlier.
Change up. Rosado's going like, come on. Well, you hit a home run, people are going to pitch to you. And that was a pretty good changeup.
Changeup sinker. Two balls and one strike, the count to Juju Rosado. Corner infielder, ranked within that 200 ranking, and boy, what a compliment that is. I think we take for granted mentioning top 10, top 20, top 30. You're ranked at all, anywhere in top 2, 3, 400. Think about that with hundreds of thousands of players playing high school baseball. There's that slider. Does he throw it again?
Why not?
He did. That is strike three. Back-to-back sliders.
And that's the kind of pitch, especially at this level, but a few levels above, you can know he has it. You can say as the hitter, I'm going to see a slider here. This is an out pitch, and you still may not be able to hit it. I mean, that is one of the best pitches we've seen so far today. You know, you can look at fastballs and velocity and everything, but that is such a weapon for Reed Worley. Very impressive. And he's throwing strikes with 3 pitches. It's an easy, controlled delivery. He's obviously a very good athlete.
This is the kind of guy, too, if you're going to have a clean outing, and it's tough to have a clean outing. It's the kind of guy that is tough to get through because he's contact, he's pesky. He's not about to give away an at-bat at all with a big swing.
Speaking of pesky, Horn had a great at-bat. Brendan Horn, his first at-bat, just fouled off pitch after pitch and ended up with a single. And noting that he's from New Hampshire. New Hampshire may have as few players come to this level event as he drives that ball to center field.
He does scald it. What an outing for Reed Worley. It was 6 he faced. 6 were sent back to the dugout. What a strong statement for the young man committed to Kennesaw.
That's as huge a statement. He threw as well as any pitcher has thrown today. No, he didn't throw 95 miles an hour. He may throw 95 in the future, but that breaking ball is the separator for him.
David and Darren at Chase Field. Incredible production team. Everyone here. We want to thank our good friends and distributors in Brooklyn, New York at Be Live. This event's a heavy lift for everyone involved. It's funny, we shake up all the talent. Announcer here, color analyst there. No, not next door in the truck. Same people all day working their tails off. We're grateful of that. That doesn't fall at all over here in the. We get great pictures, great replays, great graphics. There's so much. This is we're very proud of this show as we move to the bottom half of inning number 8.
Well, Darren, we're in a big league ballpark, and we've got a ton of future big leaguers on the field watching. We have to have a big league production crew too. So
we do.
That's
they
the way I
carry
look
us.
at it.
I agree with you. Lucarelli against Cannon Golden, who has a golden cannon in left field. He showed that one earlier. A name that I'm sure by accident they didn't realize how far that would take him in baseball. Because he does have a cannon out there, a strong arm. He showed it earlier. I think David told us he was into at least the low to mid 90s in the drills. Feels like he threw harder than that in a single play.
Yeah, 93 in the drills, but it translated in the game. Sometimes in drills we see non-game actions. In fact, a whole heck of a lot of the time in drills. Sometimes to my annoyance, we don't see game actions because as a scout, you want to see game actions.
That's a pretty breaking ball. That was a curveball break there, about 76 miles an hour. And it sets up that.
Yes, you're throwing those two pitches at the same tunnel, the same eye level. One of them drops about 14 inches. The other one rises, and that just messes with a hitter's eye level so badly. And when you do it with intent, that's when you take the next step as a pitcher.
Matthew Bowden now. Texas A&M commit. Into the catcher's mitt it goes. Pretty well-known player, David, in your circles. He's ranked 62nd in the country prior to this event.
Yeah, and it's easy to see his path as a prospect. And it was easy to see a couple years ago when he weighed 145 pounds. And this is a young man who's going to go to A&M. He's going to keep getting stronger. In 3 or 4 years, he's going to weigh 180, 185 pounds. And the offense is going to catch up to the defense and athleticism. And that's the kind of package you can just look at and know this is a guy out of college in Bowden who's going to be a potential first-day draft, because the skills and the important part of his game, the defense, are already there. They're established. Just a matter of getting stronger, and that happens with time. And if he's going to take aggressive hacks like that at 160 pounds, just wait till he's 20 pounds stronger.
Matthew lifts that one foul up to the right side. Coming unglued on that swing a moment ago. That was fun.
Lucarelli doing a good job of maintaining that velocity. Still sitting 92 even after, probably about 40 pitches.
Matthew flying to a 6.4 60 yesterday. Take strike 3.
I'm not sure.
Change up.
I think that was a change. It didn't have a lot of action to it, at least by eye level. Up on the board, it says it had 13 vertical and 11 horizontal. Straight change, but very effective. The most important part of the changeup, first of all, is throwing it for a strike. Second is maintaining your arm speed. Definitely did it there. And movement really is kind of the third degree of a changeup.
Garrett Sable wants no more pitches inside. He was hitting the neck in his first at bat. David wants me to make it clear. It just grazed the neck, hit the shoulder first, but I was amazed that he was able to bounce back from that. As that one is low. Sporting his CBA travel team hat with pride. John Payno, I'm sure, watching right now.
Yeah, I would imagine unless they are at a field right now, our audience has 100% of all travel team coaches who have players in this game, because they think of them as their kids. They have every right to do that. And I wouldn't doubt I haven't been down enough at field level to know how many coaches might be down the stands, but I imagine there might be some coaches who would make that trip, especially, we mentioned earlier today, the Wow Factor has just a ton of players here. It was set up on one of the earlier teams, and, that would be like a college coach coming and watching his kids. We know there's a number of college coaches down in the stands. If you can, you want to come watch them play and let them know you care, but you just want to see them.
Zabel works himself through a walk, so now he'll deal with fastballs the rest of the way. There's a runner. Couple of strikes on the batter. Brock Kettleson will run. Loved watching his brother Blake play at UCLA, and he said simply that's where I wanted to go. From the moment I thought I had the ability to play at that level. Went to a camp game there. Hit a couple off the right field wall at Dato Field. That's where I can't wait to go. Got him to swing at a yucky changeup. It was up. And that is strike three. The big fella on the mound, strong, a big presence, Luke Arelli, with a smile on that face, headed to Duke to play with our good friend Brian Sakowski. Lucarelli, by the way, wrapping things up. Rogers on the other side goes to work out of San Antonio, Texas. Wanted to point out Lucarelli's changeup. It's actually a split-fingered fastball. Thank you, Brian Sakowski. Now we know that Brian is watching. That gives us one viewer. We appreciate that. We knew we were doing it for something. This is Caleb, though, and I'm excited to watch him work. Reagan High School in San Antonio, Texas. Ken and Sonia, his parents. That's right, Ken, as in Kenny Rogers. Ken and Sonia, his parents. And a Texas commit. University of Texas was his first choice. The experience was great. Right-handed pitcher. Here's what he says, David. 89 to 92, has touched 94. Low spin changeup, commands it well, any count. Curveball, about 72 miles an hour, and then a cutter. He'll throw a cutter as well.
All right, very athletic build, kind of a middle infielder's build. Listed 6', 188. He's hiding some of that 188 right now, I think, but very projectable, very much an athletic look. I love seeing players from San Antonio. Cunningham's obviously from San Antonio, but of all the major cities in Texas, you know, you have all the players from the Metroplex. You have Austin, you have New Braunfels, of course you have Houston. In San Antonio, just not as much a baseball town.
Swing and a miss. Clayton Armagh gets the call. the Auburn commit from Great Falls, Virginia.
I was saying we hadn't mentioned Armaugh's name. He's a primary pitcher who will be playing tomorrow, ranked 180th in the rankings. So we'll get a look at the young man on the mound, but obviously some two-way ability.
I feel like, David, if memory serves, and I'm going off memory, I could look it up, but I think he took the mound at some point during the 17U WWBA. The results might not have been dynamic, but the stuff was. And so I recall, I believe he helped out a little bit in that championship game, so I'm excited to see him pitch. 3-1 the count. Caleb Rogers, the right-hander. And we'll put a runner out there.
Yeah, up to 90. Armaugh up to 92 at WWBA, pitching for the Canes.
Got to remember, David, when I'm downstairs by the dugout, if I want to say something negative about you, I can't be by the crowd mic.
The crowd mic?
Yeah, I just can hear a little chattering going on down there.
Oh.
And the moment I leave here, I mean, I'm just all over you. So I just got to make sure I get away and go by, get away from the crowd mic. The meeting's over by the crowd mic, though.
I bet you the crowd mic, that crowd mic can be a dangerous thing.
Oh, yes. Any hot mic. I'm here to tell you, hot mics can be a dangerous thing.
Knock on wood.
Get a couple of dismissals on my resume.
I have not yet. I guess every announcer has a hot mic problem once in their life.
Of course, driven to right field. Nice readjustment. Zips it on back in there.
Well, I have two things to look forward to then. I have a hot mic issue to look forward to, and I want a foul ball in the booth.
Do you now?
Yes.
Are you sure? Why in the world do you want a foul ball up here?
It's like
to break a finger or something? I don't understand.
Get a new computer?
That's the other thing.
No, it's a life experience. You collect experiences in life.
One of the first foul balls I ever got during my time as a major league announcer, as Zaire Barham out of Miami goes to work, was about as ideal as it gets. I had a couple of screamers hitting the hands, hurt. I had one at Fenway Park, and the booth hangs right over the field, and it's almost like a skyscraper looking straight down at the game, that it popped up behind home plate, and it literally, as it started to turn and come down, drifted into my hand at about 8 miles an hour. I caught it at that very peak, hand out, caught it. Didn't hurt at all. It could have been you just shaking my hand. So my first time, very lucky.
Did you get any applause?
In Fenway? No. Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. I think, though, if you think about it, I probably got applause and then maybe some disappointment, because then the ball didn't drop down to the fans, who they don't want broadcasters to get it. And then I got a couple here that were screamers at Chase Field.
Yeah, you better not be looking at anything else when they come out at you.
Well, that's a great reminder for broadcasters. As that one's rolled towards short, and it could be two. Little flip, quick turn. Oh, what an arm. Hello, doctor. Little flex there, and a nice job turning that one over. That's Malosi Mataafa Alferos, the Hawaiian.
That's the arm that we've been talking about all game, the 98. There it is. We get to see it again on display from second base. Wham. Yes, that's a big league arm, Darren.
David and Darren, and you're a big baseball fan. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching. Jace Stansel's a big fan of the game, and he's worth cheering for. He's at P27 Academy. He's in Charleston, South Carolina. Heck, he's a College of Charleston commit, so he gets a couple of innings. Corey Warner, his prep coach, to show who he is. And his dream this year, David, he wants to work to touch 95 miles an hour, and you were telling me he's not far off already.
Not far off. He's been up to 93. Seen him a lot this year. He played in that Academies League that I mentioned earlier. We threw 41 innings in that league, struck out 73.
Goodness.
So it's a power arm, and when you see that kind of strikeout number, the first thing I think of, he has a pretty good breaking ball, because that's what creates swing and miss at any level. Through 64% strikes, I love to see that. So it's a potential power arm, breaking ball, strikes, ideal combination for a young pitcher.
So we'll play another inning after this one, and then you'll hang with us. We may have a short break, but you'll hang with us for a brand new group of athletes that you'll get to know. Some talented athletes, too. Amongst them, guys like Quentin Young, one of the top players in the country. But many, many more.
Yeah, that Team White, team number 12, kind of got loaded up a bit. 6 of the top 12 players in the national rankings play for that White team. They're going to be fun to watch work out, fun to watch in the games.
Molosi Maraafa Alferos with that fine defensive play, flexing his arm, turning a double play. He's chatting up the umpire. We picked it up. Speaking of the crowd, Mike actually said, "What's up?" Introduced himself by first name, shook the umpire's hand as he dug in.
He's got, looks like, some Hawaiian beads.
Oh, yeah.
As part of his swag.
Shells, got the puka shell, something like that. Oregon commit. Bat to the backstop. Coach Waz will be his head coach at Oregon in the Big Ten.
He's going to be a fun player to watch play, because that arm is always going to bring attention to him, and he plays with a smile. The ball's been finding him this game, so he's got to show off the arm. Not sure what that was, but we'll hopefully not see it again.
Hey, by the way, Caleb Lomavita, the catcher for Cal, was a great PG player too. Is from Eva Beach in Hawaii, just like this talented athlete, same hometown. Caleb's going to be a draft pick this year.
He'll be a day 1 draft pick. He might be a first-round draft pick. There's a core of college catchers, about 3 or 4 of them. Janik at Sam Houston, Cozart at North Carolina State. Couple of others, Malcolm Moore, of course.
There you go. I was waiting on Malcolm.
And 2 of them, it's a really nice class for catchers, and all 4 of those that I just mentioned could definitely be first-day drafts.
I'll watch big league games sometimes. Heck, I used to do this myself, and I'll listen to a play-by-play guy go on to the next story because he's buried in his laptop. Here's why I say it. My analyst just made the point of telling you why this man has so many strikeouts, and this man just backed it up. That was a great breaking ball.
That was.
It's a long way to get to my point. Listen to your analyst. Vincent DiCarlo.
Now let's see if we can see a 95, because we're going to see a fastball on this pitch. He's thrown a couple straight breaking balls. Let's reach back. Chase. Nope. He likes that breaking ball.
I think I would too. Ouch.
93
it was 93
off the arm,
and he hit somebody.
Well, the College of Charleston program's been fairly productive. Cole Mathis, their first baseman, is going to be a good draft this year. Bailey Ober, the starting pitcher for the Twins, has become a very solid mid-rotation starter after going to College of Charleston.
Yep, Slater to Bruns running again. No surprise.
Stopwatch comes out. Who do we have behind the plate here?
Let's take a peek. We have moved to the 9th inning. How about Luke Billings will catch the last 2?
has spent 4 innings in the outfield earlier this game. Has also spent some time running the bases. See the talented athlete behind home plate.
One and two, the count on Vincent DiCarlo.
Looks like he wants to run.
Bouncing ball out toward third. There's one on to first. Boy, nice vacuum play, too, to start that thing. That was Boston Kellner. And then turning it over is Gabriel Milano around the bag at second base. That's a pretty defensive play.
Yeah, very smart. I mean, that's the kind of play you watch in the big leagues. It's made smoothly. It's like, yeah, that's a big league. That's a hard hit ball. Accurate throws, 2 perfect throws on both on the feed and the turn. And we're going to see one more hitter, although I believe that was the 3rd out with the double play, courtesy of the ghost runner.
Hunter Meyer. 0-1 the count on Hunter. Meyer singled a couple of innings ago in his first at bat of this game. Jace Stansel. Good looking breaking ball.
Yeah, that's it. That's without a doubt his pitch, is that slider. He commands it very well, just dropping it into the zone. I'm not going to compare it to a Reed Worley slider. Worley's just looked like it had tighter spin, but this is one of the better breaking balls that we've seen so far, and that's what it gets you to do. Get away with pitches with your fastball out of the zone, get swing and miss out of the zone, and a nice inning for Jace Stansel.
We're just talking about the evolution of downtown Phoenix. It's been, gosh, almost a decade and a half since I announced for the Diamondbacks, and you can feel the change in downtown Phoenix. So if you visit and you come to a Diamondbacks game and you come maybe to watch some basketball at the arena next door or a concert, there are a lot more choices, a lot more people living downtown in Phoenix, which is a good thing, as we're in downtown Phoenix here at Chase Field.
Oh, that's one thing I've noticed is the number of high rises, quality living places that have been built here.
That is correct. It has changed, and I think for the better. Summers are a little more quiet. You're going to find that downtown.
That's natural.
It's hot here. People, if they can escape anywhere, to Flagstaff, to Sedona, to San Diego, to their family in the Midwest, they do it. It's hot. Not everyone can do that, though. Anyway, we're glad to have you back in Phoenix, Arizona.
And as far as we're concerned, and I can almost speak for perfect game, as we get a first pitch ground ball to second base. Caleb Rogers on the mound for his second inning of work. That was Dylan Rivera, first pitch swinging. But as I said, speaking somewhat for perfect game, I hope we can stay here at Chase Field for the National Showcase, for the All-American Classic, for as long as possible. The Diamondbacks are great hosts. The city of Phoenix, with the proximity of the hotels downtown here, is ideal. You couldn't ask for a better situation. The players love coming here. Phoenix is easy to get to. we always worried when we were having it at Tropicana, getting the players from the West Coast. We don't seem to have any problem getting players from all over the country here to Phoenix.
We're proud of our city. We're proud of our state. And I'm proud to have once worked for this organization. I didn't know that I saw it as clearly as I should have even back then. What a great place it is to work. And they are wonderful to work with. Dylan Rivera. Did they get him with the tag? They did, coming off the bag. And that's a little bit of an athletic play there and a nice one. Popping off the bag, Riker Benz, who, by the way, has just planted himself at first all day long.
I think this was a changeup or something that got really in the kitchen. It's an out. It's the 10th inning of a ball game.
Okay.
It's a showcase. It's an out.
Okay. Moving along then. R.J. Machado takes strike one.
Nice fastball there from Caleb Rogers.
Swing and a miss. I used to work with an analyst. We honored him recently. Bill Schroeder, longtime catcher. And I got to go back to Milwaukee, but 30 years an analyst for the Brewers. Old catcher, simple plan, wants to call, does a great job calling a game. And David, when we get to moments like that, where as a younger play-by-play, I'd want to stir it up on a call. Let's keep stirring it up. And Bill would, just like you, break it down simply, and then he'd pause. He'd say, and that's all I'm going to say about that. In other words, don't ask me again. R.J. Machado hits it a mile high to center field. There, folks, from Caleb Rogers is a 1-2-3 inning. And from Caleb Rogers, the pride of San Antonio, good stuff. And I think he's going to give way for a next arm to throw just a bit.
Yeah, we saw this in the first group. It's a way to get another player. That's usually a secondary player in this case.
Brock Kettleson, right?
Yes, Brock Kettleson. He'll probably throw to just 2 hitters. He's been warming up in the bullpen, and chance for another young man to show off a variety of his tools.
Could you imagine? You're watching the Yankees Red Sox. You're at Fenway Park. By the way, this is the rest of our schedule today. We wrap up this game, and then a new wave of talented athletes come in for all these workouts. And so join us for that. We're not going anywhere. Mike Farron, Steve Phillips. It's not a Sirius XM MLB Network radio show with those two. We've got them. We've got them on our air. Anyway, could you imagine at Fenway Park, PA announcer gets on and says, we're just going to have 1 more batter, 2 more batters. We're going to let this left fielder throw a couple of batters. Boo! What's going on out there? That's what you're watching. It's a chance for the players to showcase themselves. It'd be fun if it happened.
Yes, it would be.
Back in the day, they trot in Dwight Evans from right field just to throw a little bit.
I was thinking Verdugo, who could be now for either the Red Sox or the Yankees.
Yes.
Because he was a 50-50 guy and when he was in Arizona high school. Oh, yeah, he was 93 off the mound, and a lot of people thought he was a better pitching prospect.
This is who Brock is, just to remind you.
And it's a pitcher's bite. 6'4", 195, left-hander. Looked like he threw real easy right over the top. That's what we have, Brock. '89 with 20 inches of vertical.
And a breaking ball, and a good one as it disappears away. This is Remo Indomitable, by the way. There's a breaking ball. That's strike 3. And all of you pitcher onlys out there, you're thinking it, because I used to be one of you. Why does a guy like this get to do both things this well? We're all very jealous of you right now, Mr. Kettleson, because you just made easy work of a really good hitter.
Take another look at this breaking ball. And D'Amico did not see that.
I bet you Presley Corville's excited to get one more at bat. He looks at it. He's aggressive. He swings over the sinker. 0-1.
And he's got to get that foot down sooner. Especially off 91 if that was even higher. But you look at that high leg raise. That got to get that foot down before you start your swing.
So Presley today, the Lake Charles, Louisiana native, young man from Barbe High School, Texas A&M commit. As he fouls that one off, has been a pleasure with his energy and his athleticism to watch catch.
Oh yeah, I mean the athleticism is incredible for a catcher. We saw him over at first base last inning too. I think he's one. He belongs to that fraternity that I just want to be on the field. You know, give me a glove. I'm going to point me in the direction. I'm going to be out on the baseball field.
Okay, another strikeout. Fastball up, 92. And to make matters just a little bit more fun, you have this two-way player facing one of the best hitters in the country, in Dean Moss.
Yeah, Moss's last at bat against Vaughn Necker was fun. Gets a first pitch breaking ball, lifts it politely to center field. And I think we've got, yes, we got an extra out, 3 extra outs, but they were quick. They were efficient. Brock Kettleson extremely efficient on the mound with some good stuff.
Come on, Brock, you got to be kidding me. That is impressive. Doing it all out there. Brock Kettleson, bat in his hand. Put a glove on. That left arm goes to work, and it's a talented arm. The Brock of all trades. This big fella, Mr. Stansel. It's been fun to watch him. He's got good stuff. A couple of strikeouts last inning. And here we go into the 10th. David lets me know that there may be a two-way player that pitches. We're not sure. We'll see. We just know Riker Benz is going to hit. We tip our cap to Riker because he played first base all day.
All 10 innings. It really has stood out, even with the other teams that we've seen so far, how few first basemen are at this national showcase.
Riker doesn't wait around. Goes after a fastball. Hits a fly ball into right field. Nice and shallow, and Mason Braun makes the play.
And I think what actually that's a reflection of is the fact that normal showcases, a majority of your first basemen are primary pitchers. Because a lot of them are, big guys who go over there and, save their arm on defense, play first base. And here, if you're not a two-way guy, a legitimate two-way guy, you're a pitcher, you're not going to get to hit. You're not going to go through the drills or anything. So I think the paucity of first baseman is kind of pitcher created.
Slater DeBrun is the hitter. I'm excited we get to watch him one more time.
Let's see if we see another 102 off the bat.
He was dotted. I mean, right in the shoulder blade. And then spun around and hit a baseball 102 miles an hour. Struck out first at bat, had his hands full. He was dealing with Illich, correct, early on?
I believe so, yes. He hitting leadoff, and Illich threw some quality curveballs.
3-0 the count, Slater DeBrun. We'll see as the new rankings come out if Slater is able to climb his way up just a little bit. Lil Slay, as his friends call him. I probably wouldn't call him that.
Little Slay?
Three and one the count. Steve is his dad. Julie is his mom, and his twin sister is Zari. And by the way, his dog, he wanted to pass this along. That's Ember. His dog is Ember. Talking about the hitter, Slater. He is the hitter, Slater. I mean, literally, the hitter, Slater. Line drive, base hit.
104 off the barrel there.
Goodness gracious.
Ball comes off
in the rankings a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, ball comes off his bat different. And these are singles. The first one that's a virtual replica of his first one that almost turned into an inside the park home run when the center fielder charged it, but just crushed that ball.
4.2 GPA, 3 AP classes. AP Calc was one of them. Here's Ethan Claus.
And DeBrun was one of my picks to click at this national, and so far he has followed up very, very well. I'm looking forward to seeing him play just as much tomorrow.
One and one the count. Same. What a special athlete.
And it's fun seeing these players who come into the national showcase. DeBrun ranked 223rd. Joseph Parker in the first group ranked 274th, and he was, the best performing hitter of the first group, the Purvis, Mississippi native. And to see the players who aren't ranked in those high areas all of a sudden saying, no, I belong a lot higher.
Swing and a miss. Good tail to that fastball. 11 inches worth of tail, if you will. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
I should throw Presley Corville, since we've been talking about him, ranked 230 coming into this national showcase. And he's obviously a better player than that in the context of the 2025 class.
The brand new switch hitter, Josiah Hartshorn.
I was about to say, I almost had hoped that Hartshorn gets a chance to face a left-handed pitcher tomorrow, so
and
we
Homer
can see that right-handed swing.
Well, he's committed to the craft, though. I give him credit. This takes courage. Good pitch right under his swing. I mean, think of the courage it takes on. You already, have a lot of tools that you can share. Give him a lot of credit. It's going to be an uphill battle. But he picked up a base hit last time. The orange Lutheran star in that orange jersey. He went around on a breaking ball there. And he reaches because there were 2 outs. And then the runner goes all the way to third.
DeBrun going to third.
Josiah saying, wait a minute, I did go? Okay, well, that's, I guess, why I ran. Here's Reagan McCluskey now. Slightly open stance, hiding under that white helmet, Reagan. Well, that's a pretty good take. Good pitch.
Stancil still going with the slider heavy diet.
Two and 0 the count, Reagan.
Stancil not afraid to go that slider on a 2-0 count. Brings it back to 2-1. In fact, that's all we're going to see here, I think, at least in the strike zone, is that slider. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. So, Darren, will we see another pitcher?
My magic 8 ball, I'm shaking it right now. I'm not sure. I'm going to say no.
That Navy dugout doesn't seem to be very active right now. Certainly nobody in the bullpen. I'm not telegraphing which one I'm rooting for, am I?
Well, look, if someone deserves a chance and they're a client and a customer, they need to get their chance.
Oh, yes, I have no doubt about it.
Otherwise, no, I'd just as soon not. So, I mean, I'm glad to be honest about it. But if somebody's earned that chance and they've communicated it, go get them. We'll call it. Maybe. We'll see. No, we'll shake hands. And that, hold on, David has me holding on. That's the game.
All game.
Nice job today, my friend.
It's been a pleasure, Darren. It's been a pleasure. We got to see some great baseball. We got to see some pitchers. We got to see some home runs.
Yes, we
got
did.
to see a lot of great athletes out here in Chase Field.
Hang with us, by the way. Here in the next bit, we're going to get it going. And this slider of Stancil certainly is special. We'll get it going with a new wave of athletes that will come. They'll stretch, they'll get ready, they'll run the 60, they'll throw from the outfield, they'll throw from the infield, they'll throw from behind the plate and first. They'll take batting practice with all eyes watching. So we'll have a little bit of a break, and then we bring you our afternoon and evening session here at Chase Field on behalf of our entire production team and our stream team distributing in Brooklyn, New York. He's David, I'm Darren. Thanks for hanging with us. Mike Farron coming up. Steve Phillips as well, right here on Perfect Game TV.